right, and we are live.
Mm, that's sexy.
Time to share. Turtle
Hey,
power.
now
Turtle
you got
power.
that song stuck in my fucking head.
Alright, there you go. Boom.
It's gonna be stuck in there.
Alright.
Why do I
Oh,
look big as hell on the screen?
because I can lean back, that's why. So yeah, but there you go. I can do that. Is it? There, we're more even in a way. I gotta move it.
Aw.
Yeah. Alright.
Yay! Now I feel equal. Yeah, you making me bigger will give people the idea that I'm like superior. Let's not already throw that. Let's not already throw that out there. It's not. It's not cool.
Let me send you the thumbnail because that's important, right?
It might be, maybe a little bit.
Yeah, that is important. Don't worry, we're
It
gonna
could
start exactly at 12, so be quick. Let's see,
work.
Gabriel Gates, boom.
Gatos Olivia.
All right, boom, boom,
Boom.
boom. All right.
Boom. Boom. Boom.
Boom. Download. I'll send it to your IG.
Boom.
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 Coolballas Designs.
Boom. No, it's Kobali's gaming, not designs, you silly goose.
Coballas Gates. There. All right, there you go.
Aw, that was cute.
Nya, 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 nya.
Chupapi
Okay.
muñeño.
Chupapi Menudos.
Moon ñeño. Do you even know about the Chupapi muñeño?
Do you know?
Hmm? Do you even know me?
You
Do
think
you even know me?
you think you know me?
You think you know me?
Alright.
Do you even know me? They're never gonna know. Who's gonna know? How would they know? They're never gonna know.
Host. Boom,
Chupapi muñeño.
boom, boom.
Boom.
Live with the
Boom.
Tyrant
Boom.
Coballas.
Boom.
Link
Boom.
in link in the stories.
Story linking.
2K22. Tag people. Invite collaborators. Coballas.
Yes.
Coballas Gaming. There you go. There you go.
Thank you, sir.
Turtle power. It really doesn't matter how many times that thing is gonna ring, because I'm gonna keep doing it. And that's fucking sad.
I'm silencing this shit immediately. I'm not gonna give you the opportunity to do that.
Because it's a thing where I have to finish it. I really do. It's like, yeah, I got to click here. Is there a live GIF?
A
Lives.
live GIF?
There it is. This is cool. Not GIF. These things that they do on IG where you add like a thingy. Live.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh my god, it's new.
Done.
It's noon.
Alright. Alright. Shared, shared, and shared.
and share it, and share it again. Because why not? We gotta share it. Hi. Hang on, man. I'm silencing that shit immediately.
Maybe we should share it on the Discord. How about that? Yeah, right.
Maybe. On all of them.
We'll do it on that.
Yes.
Yes. Yes, Smithers. Yes.
Yes.
We'll ride the spruce moose.
Yes. Yes.
That sounds like a good idea to me. Simple storytelling.
All right.
So God damn it. Share for fuck.
We're sharing.
Gotta share. Gotta share. Sharing is caring.
Sharing is caring. Sharing is caring.
Yeah, today we're in Care Bear mode. I'm wearing my Dare shirt to keep awareness alive.
Keeping aware of the bullshit. The bullshit. Turtle power.
Oh fuck! I forgot the fucking silence. Shut up.
All right.
What is this? A ringtone? Wait.
Is it a ringtone? No, it's a notification.
I mean, it could. I'm trying it.
Trying.
Oh, that's you. There you go. That's your voice.
Mute that. Mute that.
That's your voice over here. Beautiful.
All right. Well,
Hi.
Are we ready? I think we're ready, right? We shared. We set up the nice, beautiful stream that looks like you're right next to me.
It looks beautiful.
That's great. All right, in 5, 4, 3, 2. What's good, XVPW universe? Welcome to XVPW's live and direct. I am basically the host of this, X. Y'all know me as X. I'm here with the Tyrant Gabriel Gates, Instagram's favorite,
Yeah,
the community's favorite Tyrant,
the world's favorite.
A little update of some XVPW news before we shoot it with Gates. Sunday's best effing show, XVPW's best effing show. That was basically one of successful HLR shows I've ever produced. Totally revamped the new thing. I mean, I think the last show before that was done on 2K22, and yeah, I hate that game, but. New revamp, new venue, the title says it's all back to the indies. That's where I had a lot of fun doing a lot of things we're able to get away with. So yeah, be sure to check that out. Really, really dope show. We went back to its roots, keeping it comedy, for the casuals, while still keeping it with the community, with nice rendered matches, etc., etc., etc. So, if you love Wayne's World, you love SNL, you love In Living Color, you love The Office, you love breaking the fourth wall for all you CM Punk marks, you're gonna love that show. Outside of that, I interviewed Relentless Pros owner from Twitch, Matsuda Tanaka. Be sure to check that out. Really dope interview. But now I get to interview one of XVPW's exclusive talents here in the Extreme Alternative, the Tyrant Gabriel Gates.
Yes. Well, yeah, definitely, and for good reason. I don't mean me being signed as a good reason. I mean me going exclusive with XVPW was a good reason.
Before
not just for the company itself. It's like you explained about the last show. Like it was just fun.
Yeah.
Filming all those segments, putting those pieces together. Like a real team effort out of everybody. Like it was really fun to do. Like I enjoyed the shit out of it.
Yeah, man. Before we talk about Ka, let's talk about a little background of of you. Yeah, that's how I always like to get to know the person, because clearly we both know each other, but for the people watching, which is Crash right now. What's up, Crash? He is FCA, so he ain't exclusive. Well, FCA isn't under XVPW, so yeah, he's exclusive.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Anything under XVPW's banner.
if you're not under the network, then yeah. But yeah, let's talk about, when did you really get into the whole wrestling? Were you like
wrestling?
Yeah, wrestling.
Wrestling. Well, I mean, wrestling really started when I was young as hell. I'm talking maybe 13 going into 15, 16. Me and my friends were throwing each other around in like backyards, sand parks, wood chips, all this other bullshit. Literally just beating the shit out of each other.
Was this in
We had
Pershing Field?
No, not in Pershing Field. We did it. Damn. There's a place called Fillmore Park here in West New York.
Okay.
We used to do it there. Park Avenue on like 61st.
Yeah.
We used to do shit there. And a lot of the times when we did a lot of this stuff, we would get into trouble. Like, cops would think that we're fucking, really fighting and shit in the park, so they'd kick us out immediately. But yeah, we started, fucking around in backyards because we just loved wrestling in general, and that love really came from my first stepfather. Let's call it that.
Mm-hmm.
He was a huge like wrestling mark. He took me to my first wrestling show here when the arena was called Continental Airlines Arena, like a long fucking time ago.
That's old school.
It was a house show. It wasn't even like a pay-per-view. It wasn't a Raw, nothing like that. It was a house show, WWF. And the main event of that match, I remember, was Undertaker and Bret Hart. I was about to say Kane for some reason.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, Undertaker and Bret Hart. And what I fell in love with immediately was the theatrics. I loved the theatrics, the dramatics behind, the whole wrestling aspect. Because it's one thing to like throw yourself across the ring and, take a bump, this and that. But the theatrics of selling that, making it look like it really fucking hurt. Like for years, I was convinced that, yeah, these people are beating the shit out of each other. So that's what I did in backyards. Like we were throwing each other around like through everything.
Yeah.
But I mean, eventually we got scouted. Like this guy, Mambo King, or Carl, he passed away a few years ago. He was known as Mambo King and New Jersey's La Parka.
Yeah.
He was the guy that was going around dressed as La Parka for all the local shows here in Jersey and shit.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, he wound up finding us through this dude. His name was Son of Sam at the time.
How old were you by then?
I was like 16 at this time.
And your stepfather brought you to your first show?
Oh, my stepfather brought me to that first show when I was like 5 or 6 years old.
Okay.
I'm talking really, really young.
All right.
And yeah, Son of Sam kind of like found us beating the shit out of each other in a park. He told Mambo King about us, and Mambo King went to the park and told us, why the fuck are you throwing yourselves around, on fucking wood chips when you could be doing it on a mat?
Yeah.
And we were like, oh yeah, sure, let's fucking do that. There were a bunch of stupid fucking kids. So we did that. We wound up getting these gym mats that they were throwing out from my elementary school.
Yeah.
So we took those gym mats and stashed them behind a wall. And we would take those gym mats out from behind the wall every weekend when we would put a show together at the park.
Yeah.
So we started getting used to taking bumps properly and shit, watching, like really studying the shit out of wrestling. And it worked to our benefit. Like some of us got further, I got introduced to Hurricane Mike Morgan, who was the owner for Ace Pro Wrestling Academy in Union City, which is where I'm from. I'm from Union City.
Yeah.
And I had the honor of, sharing a class with the likes of like AJ Lee and Jay Lethal. So like, watching them who came in when I also came in, but they came in with it, like they didn't really have to work too much on like the persona. It was more the ring that they were working themselves on. But Jay already automatically had a feel for for like holding a microphone and presenting himself, and really convincing people that he is his character. And AJ was awesome, but she had a lot of trouble with trying to figure out who her character was, which is, you see that in Caw as well. People trying to figure out what their character is and shit.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it was a really good experience. And then from there, I wrestled a couple of matches, but it took me a while to even step foot in a ring. Like, I had to do a lot of grunt work. So I got to experience like a lot of the stress that came with, just being able to put the show together, like the setting up of the ring, the sweeping and mopping and fucking making sure that the space is clear so you can set everything up properly, because everything has to be leveled. If something's off level, the ring can collapse. Anything can go fucking wrong if you're not like careful with that shit.
Yeah.
So, I learned a lot of like those parts of wrestling on top of also learning from the people I was in the class with, which I only got a chance to be in the ring throughout the week. I would say maybe 2-3 times if I was lucky, depending on if they were hosting a show or they already had a class going, because I wasn't paying for any of the classes. I was literally working in that warehouse to help, fucking maintain the place.
You're what, 16? 16?
Yeah.
16. So
I wasn't allowed.
Yeah, so it's more like, hey, you're going to pay your dues since you can't afford this shit. So you better pick up every slack, pick up every garbage, pick up every ring wood.
Everything.
Yeah.
Everything. Dude, at 16 years old, going into 17, I was unclogging toilets. I was doing real fucking grunt work. We would do VFW events, and I'd have to carpool it with like 6 other people just to go to a VFW to set up shit there, fucking put up the tables so the vendors can put their shit up. Like, dude, it was a hustle. It was a hustle. But in the end, at the climax of all this, I ended up, working with New Jersey All Pro. I wound up working with East Coast Pro Wrestling. Yeah. I got scouted and taken under the wing of, like Johnny Diamond. So it was a lot that, came with the experience, and a lot of it was just like really watching. Like, I never really tried to run before I knew how to crawl. I had to examine, I had to learn before I could really say, all right, now I understand it.
Yeah.
But no, it was a grind. It was a real grind. And
that's why when I became a photographer, I was like, because I didn't pay the entrance fee, So this guy, Matt Shapiro, was like, hey, so we know that you're a photographer and we let you in for free, but help with the chairs and all that stuff. And I'm like, don't worry, I got you. And it's maybe it's the Filipino in me and whatnot, but it's more like, hey, I'm here early. They know photographers. They just set up, blah blah blah. So, all right, let me see. You guys need help with the chairs. Then I didn't do the ring stuff till later, to the following show. I wanted to see how they do it. Do you guys need help with sound? I see some speakers over there. You want me to set it up? So I was the first one in, last one out. I had to clean up and all that stuff. Because not I had to. It's more like I wanted to, because I really want to learn the business of everything.
It's your foot in the door. It's really your foot in the door is to work.
Yeah, it's a grind. It's a grind and a hustle. Yeah. Independence. Like, a lot of people might think, like, oh, like, how can I do this? How can I do that? How can I get my foot in the door? Legit, you talk to the owner and say, hey, how can I help? And from there, you'd be like, okay, here you go.
Yeah, because legitimately, they're always looking for help. Because not for nothing, a lot of the people that do wrestle in these indie scenes, they walk into that locker room like their shit doesn't stink.
No.
So they immediately think they don't have to do a fucking thing, bro. Like, nothing. They'll throw their bottles on the fucking floor knowing that there's going to be a grunt to come around and sweep that shit up.
Yeah.
That's where that's what we did. Like, we were the grunt. So it was a humbling. That's probably the best word to explain
because
it.
You're trying to pay your dues and go into a family, similar to carnival shit. Carnies.
Yeah, man.
You have to pay.
Yeah, that's kind of the best way to describe it. It's like carnies.
It's legit carny
They're
shit.
Entertainers.
And not many people know that. You have to I didn't. I went to Capitol. I went to Pro Wrestling Magic, and I know people there because you see the same people. You legit see the same people. The fans don't really change. Why? Because you really you have to understand indie wrestling. That's your local show.
Yeah.
You know, not unless they have somebody big to come down here and be the main event or the attraction. But besides that, we don't know who you are. We don't know that. You have to come in and understand, okay, this is your local wrestling show. So you're going to see the same crowd. You're going to see the same people. You're going to see the same probably wrestlers. Not unless some guy's coming from out of town, you know. And the same people setting up the ring will probably be the same people wrestling that same night, you know. So you're legit. It's a family type of thing, and that's how you make your money. Sometimes you don't make money, so that's why you have people like us. Because I'm not trying to pay the entrance fee. No, I'm helping you out by taking pictures and holding a fucking camera. It's the same as that thing.
If need be, like it's paying your dues and you know putting yourself in a place. You know what I mean? Like the immediate thing that they knew for one, because I was local, especially like with Ace, was I was reliable because I was so local that they can easily call me. Yo, we need a quick sweep or a fucking cleanup of the venue because we're having a show. Blah blah blah. So it's like, all right, I'm on my way.
Yeah.
So from there, it was pretty much a journey, and then I had an injury in the ring, facing somebody that was locally known as 911, who towered over me, and it was for New Jersey All Pro, which was funny. And yeah, I took a fall wrong. I was supposed to actually like do a full rotation, and I landed on my fucking left leg, which completely took my kneecap out. So like my kneecap popped out, was over on the fucking side, so that thing was just hanging out the side chilling. And yeah, after that, I tried, like I waited for the swelling to go down, which took a couple of weeks. I tried getting back in the ring, and then it was when I was running ropes, that's when I realized that like, yeah, I really can't do this anymore. Because I started running ropes and immediately I would feel my knee tick, and I was like, something's not right. And I don't know. I've never gone to hospitals like for injuries or anything of the sort. Like it's never been my forte. I just don't feel. I feel it's a waste of money if I'm not dying.
That's how I am sometimes. That's not legit.
If I'm not dying, I will not go to the hospital. I'll find a way to heal. I don't give a shit.
Yo, I was riding my skateboard one time, bro, on Grove Street. Let me tell you. So I'm waiting for two of my friends. One of them is Dev. The other guy's name is Rod. So I'm just I'm on my skateboard, waiting. Then the most dumbest shit. I wasn't even riding. I stood on my skateboard. And I did one of those like spaghetti legs. Like, oh shit! Then wow, boom! Right, middle of Grove Street. I'm bleeding, and it's what makes it worse is a fucking farmer's market. So everybody's looking at me. I'm like this. I'm bleeding. I'm like fuck. Then they saw me, and they're like, oh shit, you okay? And Dev was like, you okay? I'm like, yeah. And he just starts laughing. Yo, you fucked up. We saw you just drop down. And
at least to make sure to ask if you were okay beforehand.
Yeah, so I'm bleeding, right? I'm fucking bleeding, all this. Then I'm like, yo, I'm not going to the hospital. Like, I have to go home. Luckily, it's right there. So I'm walking the street, I'm bleeding. Next thing you know, I'm on my mirror, and I'm like, oh, this is really bad. I'm gonna need stitches. And of course, Dev was like, yo, let me just burn this knife real quick, and we'll just seal it up right there. Like, no, it's my fucking eye. It's not like here, right?
Yeah, no, you're fucking mad.
So next thing you know, all right. Of course, the hospital's also right there. So we're going to the hospital, right? I'm not even like walking. I'm skating to the hospital. So next thing you know, the doctor, the person, because you have to check in and all that, said, oh, so what are you here for? And I just did this, and they're like, oh my god, and like a little bit on the window.
There you go.
And she's like, oh, okay, we have to take you in. So next thing you know, the doctor's talking to me. So how did this happen? It's because of that. I'm pointing to my skateboard. And I'm like, oh crap. So they fucking put the mask on me. I'm fucking cane right now, like I'm burnt, and they fucking do the stitches, right? So of course, hospital bill, $800 something. I'm like, motherfucker, like really $800 for stitches and all this stuff. like clean it,
Yeah,
whatever.
numbing
So
shit, all that shit.
so then of course you have to come back, right? I didn't go back. I didn't go. I'm not gonna pay an extra
Damn shit,
fucking
right the fuck up.
500 just to take out the stitches. I told them how long does it need this for? 3 weeks. All right, perfect. Then the third, I waited the fourth week. You know, then I was just like,
Yep.
that's it.
Fuck that shit.
I'm not going back. But
Fuck
yeah,
that shit.
man. So you
Yeah,
got
that's
into
pretty much where.
wrestling. You did your indie run and all that stuff. Were
Yeah.
you a WWE guy, ECW guy, WCW guy?
I mean, I grew up on WWF, WWE,
Mm-hmm.
and then like I guess during broke times, that's when I started like noticing shit like ECW, because those were channels I would statically skim by.
Yeah.
That's at the time when cable boxes were fucking the size of old school VCRs.
Did
It
you
was
have the little
incredible.
black box or you had the Comcast?
Yeah, the one that you could fucking turn, like you could pirate it somehow
Yes,
and
yes,
like
yes.
hook it up.
Yeah.
Yeah, that fucking thing. But yeah, ECW I discovered later on, and that kind of that really piqued my interest just because of the extreme aspect.
Mm-hmm.
And the guy that really popped in ECW for me, surprisingly, was Just Incredible. Just
Polanco.
Incredible was like, yeah, he was a character that I immediately attached to just because of how he spoke.
Huh.
Like he did not
I
give
would assume it was Raven, but you like
no,
uh
honestly, Raven was a little too ominous for me
mm-hmm.
at that time.
Yeah.
Like I don't know, it was weird. Raven reminded me too much of like the grunge alternative
Yeah.
era, which I went through that era as well.
Mm-hmm.
But Just Incredible was just he was just blunt. Like
Yeah,
he always kind of blurred a lot of lines, and he kind of like I felt like he spoke through me. Like everything I wanted to like yell at everybody else, he kind of said for me.
yeah. I'm not
And
just the
then
coolest, I'm just the greatest, I'm just incredible. Okay. That's
but then after that son of a bitch came Stone Cold. Stone
okay.
Cold was he was the hero after that.
Yeah.
Like I hung on to Steve Austin for years because the same ordeal, his approach. He was
Anti.
blunt. He was
Yeah.
straightforward.
Yeah.
He didn't give a fuck what you thought of him. He just did what he had to do to get the fucking job done.
Mm-hmm.
And then I fell in love with AJ Styles after that,
Yeah.
and Chris Jericho.
When did you got hooked
Guys
onto
like that.
TNA? When were
Uh,
you a TNA guy?
uh, I mean, I'll have to say like maybe like 2004, 2005, maybe.
That's not bad. Yeah.
Just around that era
How
when it
did you
was still
discover it?
good
Were you
before.
skimming through channels and be like, "What the fuck is this?"
No, it was the promotions on TV.
Oh, okay, okay, okay.
The promotions on TV, because that's when commercials were a much bigger ordeal, and they actually had good commercials. But no, yeah, TNA I discovered through just commercials. I was like, oh shit, like damn, these fucking Dixie Carter, who the fuck is this bitch? And like who the fuck is Jeff Jarrett's there? Oh shit, I gotta go check this
Yeah,
out.
yeah,
Jeff Jarrett, like those are characters I remember from WCW.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
And WCW I obviously knew from Monday Night Wars, and then that's how I fucking discovered Chris Jericho, and he became probably like my number one at this point. Like even to this day, I still look up to Chris Jericho as top tier because that son of a bitch has outlasted so many at
That
his
is
fucking,
true.
and he's still going, and he's
Yeah,
still fucking going.
yeah, yeah.
And another thing with Chris Jericho that I related to was the musicianship, because I was a musician for a long fucking time.
Mm-hmm.
And so that was another reason why I reflected with his character. But I liked his heel work more than I liked his face work. I felt like his face work was very stale. It didn't really stand out, and like it just didn't feel like him. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? But yeah, his heel work stood out, and that's kind of like where I picked off a lot of characteristics as far as like my character's approach is, Jericho, Steve Austin, fucking Just Incredible, and shit like that, where they're forward, but I also like I developed I inspired Gabriel Gates through those characters as far as like my confidence in being able to portray that character in person.
Okay.
And then
What
like the
was your
character,
so wait, were you your indie run
yeah,
was that when you came up with Gabriel Gates, or that was
no,
something different? Okay. So what
no.
was your name in your
All
indie?
right, so this is funny. You just wrestled the son of a bitch too. He calls himself the bad boy Joey Janela.
Uh-huh.
Well, at that time, there was a clothing brand
Yeah.
that was going around called Bad Boy, where it was a dude with really thin
Uh-huh,
sunglasses.
uh-huh.
He wore this spiked chain around his thing. The pose was always this on the shirts and shit.
Yeah.
And he would have spiky hair and it would say Bad Boy over it. Well, Mambo King,
Uh-huh.
he was trying to make characters of all of us, and he decided that that was me. Like,
Okay.
just wear that merch and portray that character. So you're Bad Boy. So
Okay.
that was literally me for a long fucking time until I changed my name to Ghost, because
Uh-huh.
that's literally what I would do. I would come in the ring, do my business, and fucking I'm out. Like,
Okay.
I didn't stick around for shit. And that was really at the point where I was like trying to like really discover,
Who you are?
what character I wanted to portray,
Yeah.
because I didn't know how to approach, like, when a microphone got put in my face. If it wasn't on a stage, I didn't really know how to deliver that.
Mm-hmm.
So it took me, studying a lot of the characters I mentioned in order to like get an idea of how I wanted to portray this character, at least for Call.
Yeah.
In the ring, like my in ring shit is long gone. Like
Yeah.
that's never gonna happen again.
So let's transition to that. When did you clearly you got the video games, right? Like,
Yeah, absolutely.
okay, so when did you create your first call? Even though, there's call when you first started. I can say that the very first call I created was back in No Mercy. But when did you,
Yeah.
that same exact, when did you get into that?
Yeah, like No Mercy was really the beginning of like the customization,
Mm-hmm.
because I was able to like really create an overall idea of what I wanted him to look. And the look of like the character always was just something I imagined I would have gone for if I would have stayed,
Okay.
doing this shit. And I mean, the overall look, I would have loved to be like fucking sleeved up and like fucking like the
Mm-hmm.
whole nine. But I was able to do through the game. I didn't really know that there was a community at all. Like, I just did it because I was role playing in the game on my own.
What year was this?
And
What game was this?
this was like I think like SmackDown versus Raw 2008, maybe.
That makes sense. Yeah, yeah, 2008. Yeah.
So that, yeah, because that's where like the creation suite was really like, it was really elaborate. You didn't have to unlock anything really. It was just
Mm-hmm.
an open suite. So yeah, that's where I really got into more detail. But his name wasn't even Gabriel like Gates. I always used the Gates name because it was in the game,
Mm-hmm.
but it was Azrael before that.
Yeah, yeah.
And yeah, I didn't change the name until I actually got into Call. Like, when I got into Call, that's when the name Gabriel like had to get set in. And yeah,
What made you
that's how it
choose
happened.
Gabriel?
Well, unfortunately, they don't have my real name in the game.
Okay.
And for those that don't know, it's Giovanni Gio.
Mm-hmm.
So it's unfortunately not in the game. I would imagine it would have been because of Giovanni Vinci, but no.
Uh-huh.
So Gabriel was the closest, and I kind of sought meaning behind it because I just don't like creating something and it not having some form of meaning behind it,
Yeah.
which is why, my character isn't inspired by people, it's inspired by lore.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I like reading a lot of books and shit. I like studying a lot of philosophies and stupid shit like that.
Mm-hmm.
And Gabriel, obviously being an archangel, so on. So that really sat with the heel aspect of Gabriel Gates, and then like it just branched off from there. Like, Gates was always a name I stuck with because of the fact of like that's the first thing you got to go through.
Mm-hmm.
Anything like beyond any boundary, you have to go through the gates before getting there. So it's
Well,
like I set myself at that forefront as the gates to the ring. Pretty much, you have to go through me in order to get anywhere. So
it's
that's pretty much
funny.
the
I don't
premise.
think I ever told you this. I don't think I told anybody this. But so my first name, right? It's Maximilian, right? I have a
Mhm.
second name due to my mom, because when I got baptized again, when I was in when I did like a tour, like a religious tour, I go to Egypt, Israel, Jerusalem, and all that stuff. Because she did, she was, Filipinos are hella religious, so
Yes.
I redid my baptism vows, and I'm able to pick a second name,
Oh
and
shit.
my second name is Gabriel. Maximilian.
Holy shit.
So it's Maximilian Gabriel Isidro Cristobal. Isidro is my mom's last name.
That-
Cristobal is my dad's name. And I told my mom, I redid my baptism vows. I can have a second name. So my dad was the one who named me, which is Maximilian. But my mom was like, if your dad didn't name you, I would have named you Gabriel. We're brothers. Hi.
Wow.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I don't
no.
really use the Gabriel name at all. Not unless like my
That's
mom
crazy.
maybe will call me
Damn.
or my aunts and all that stuff. But that's like, yeah, it's just funny because you're Gabriel.
But yeah, that was pretty much the premise of the name. Like I wanted the name to mean something.
That's good.
And
I
then
like that.
the character itself, like I said, it's based on lore, which was the meaning behind the first tattoo, like custom tattoo I ever put on my claw, which was the Malkavian on the stomach.
Oh, okay.
And Malkavian, if you watch, like if you ever played like tabletop, like Vampire the Masquerade,
Mm-hmm.
that's a clan of vampire that's like supposed to be cursed by insanity. So they're
Ah,
fucking nuts. So that's what the Malkavian shit on his stomach means. And then ascend antediluvian is another vampiric term. So it basically portrays Gabriel as a vampiric
Rick.
character. So I walked into Call kind of like the Call Gangrel in a way.
That's cool. All
And
right.
when Christian Maniac, who's the one that actually brought me into Call, like he's the one that told me, yo, there's a whole fucking
Were
there's
you
a whole
friends
following.
with? Were you friends before then?
Yeah,
Maniac.
I've
When
known
did?
Maniac for a long time,
How long?
years. It was basically like I
Even
said, I was a
even
musician
before
for a
call?
while.
It's before call
Yeah,
too,
way
right?
before
Okay.
Call, way before Call. I was a musician for a while, so a lot of my friends, like a lot of my friends knew his friends, and they would all go to shows and shit. So me and him would mingle. Like we didn't really know much about it, but when we did talk or bullshit, it was always about wrestling.
Ah,
So
okay.
that's where we made the immediate connection. Was me and him loved wrestling.
Yeah, yeah.
So we stayed in contact through that, and like it just persisted. And then he told me about the community, and I was like, "Holy shit! Like, there's really a whole fucking thing out here." And that's
What year was
how I
this?
walked. Dude, I think like 2016,
Oh wow. So
2017.
26 to 2017. That means 2K17 is already out
Yeah,
already. Yeah, that's cool.
yep.
All right. So then
That's where I got a mend.
yeah. So when did you? Okay, so he brought you into the community and all that stuff. Did you create an account, an IG account, or?
He recommended it.
Did you feel silly doing it? Like this is.
All right. At first, yes, because I was like, all right, I'm creating an entire account for a character. But why? Like, can't I just link my own shit? Like,
Yeah.
and then I understood because I saw his page. Like, I used his page as an example.
Yeah.
And I was
What's
like,
up,
oh,
Ryan?
like, okay, but it's cool because you're able to also display artwork. And as you know, like I graphic design, so I was like, you know what, I can make fucking posters and just do a whole thing like that. It's like another resume.
Yeah.
So that's how I fell into it. And I was like, all right, fuck it, I'm gonna create a goddamn profile. I did it, and then he really ran me through like everything, like the screenshotting shit. Like at
Yeah.
first, I was doing the same thing everybody else used to do, which was record my screen with my phone to get a good picture of my fucking call. Like
Yeah.
it was so bad, but yeah, he taught me like how to screenshot and get into all that shit because I wasn't really like tech savvy. I was never a tech savvy guy. I was a musician who picked up a microphone and yelled into it at a
You know
show.
what's
Like that's
funny?
literally what I
Especially knowing you now and how techie you are. That's so interesting.
did. Yeah. Now, and I had to force myself to learn how to do all that shit. Like I
Yeah.
had to because I had to keep up with everybody else.
Yeah.
And then came the face reveal. Like I didn't really see anybody cutting promos like with their faces.
Uh-huh.
I saw a lot of people do the picture with the audio behind it. I saw a lot of people, do the video with the call like moving a little bit with the background and shit. I didn't know how to do none of that shit because again, I wasn't tech savvy for shit.
Mm-hmm.
So my first initial thought was I'm just gonna film myself. Like fuck it. I don't know how to video edit, so I'm literally just gonna put the camera up and film myself. And that's how I cut my first ever promo.
Do you
And
have footage of that? I wonder if I just scroll down to your
I'm
shit.
now this here's the shit. This account that I'm using now
Yeah.
is a newer account. I had another account a
Oh,
long fucking time ago. And because of controversies and shit like
of
that
course.
account got locked.
Oh, okay.
So I had to create a whole new one.
Mm.
But yeah, that's a whole other story.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, that's literally how it started. I just kind of just spoke from what I remembered from like Steve Austin and fucking Justin and fucking AJ and Jericho. Like I just kind of like blurted out what I felt and shit, and that's how it came off. And for a while, a lot of people were like, they were like, "Yo, you're a fucking tyrant." Like they were like calling me an asshole and all this other shit.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I was like, all right, so then it's working. Like then I guess I'm doing it because that was one of the philosophies I remember from wrestling is if either you're loved or hated, the attention is still being put on you. So that means you're doing something right.
Yeah, yeah.
So I was like, all right, so then this is working. So I did that. Like I persisted it, and then the word just kept coming up often, which was tyrant.
Uh-huh.
And I didn't see nobody else in call using it. So I was like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm gonna take it. Like I'm gonna start using it. And that's when the birth of the Tyrant Gabriel Gates happened. And that's when I really collided with Maniac and became part of FOF,
What?
which
So this
was
is still the year 2K. I mean, not year. 2017 already. All
yeah,
that.
this was going into 18.
To
18 was
18.
about to drop at this
What
point.
promotion was this that you're cutting promos on, right? What was the first promotion you ever
Oh, lit,
participated?
lit, lit
What?
gore on Facebook. Yep,
The Facebook, I mean Facebook promotion.
yep. Lit
Jonathan
gore was the
Prada.
first one.
That's
Yep.
so funny. So wait, you I discovered Lit on Facebook,
Mm,
but they had an
yeah.
IG or
No, they didn't have an IG. Um, I I was kind of just getting my feet wet on the IG side. So I was
okay.
just taking examples and like, posting videos. I was
Yeah.
putting videos of just me doing moves and shit. I had like, seeking signings and shit or signings open or whatever. But I wasn't getting any real traction. So I was like, you know what? Let me see if Facebook has something like this too.
Yeah.
And Maniac again was like, yeah, there's a couple of fucking things on here. There's Twitter, there's all this shit. And I was like, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
So Facebook was immediate because I was more connected with Facebook because
Yeah.
of my personal account. And I found Lit and Jonathan Prada like immediately took me in because I sent him that first like little shoot that I did,
Yeah.
and it was just me introducing myself, like
Mm.
Gabriel Gay, like it was all me and character going off. I was calling the whole community fucking soft shell,
Yeah.
like mad bullshit. I was really healing it the fuck up, and John fell in love with it, and he was like, "Yeah, bro, like I'm gonna get you on the next show, blah blah blah." So I worked with them for a while, like for a
That's
long fucking
crazy.
time.
So this was happening in 2017. That means because I started XVPW during that same time period. What's up, Mikey?
Oh
What's
my
up, Mikey?
god,
So it's funny. That's really funny because yeah,
yeah,
I didn't
dude.
start knowing Prada till later on, and also this is interesting. So you got in the same time I started, basically XVPW. XVPW is already airing the first season during that time.
Shit,
That's funny. All
yeah,
right, so
2017 going into 2018.
yeah, that's crazy.
That is
That's dope actually. So you technically started on Facebook.
technically, yeah.
Yeah, you
I mean, I
technically.
had my page. I had my page on Instagram, which is what
Yeah.
I promoted on Facebook as my character. Like, if you want to see my character, this is my page here.
Yeah.
I didn't feel the need of like creating a page on fucking Facebook if I already had one.
Yeah.
Plus, I'm not too keen on having my email on too many fucking
Of course.
apps, anyways.
Yeah, exactly. That's it.
but
Dope.
but yeah, that's literally
So
how it
you
went down, man.
technically started on Facebook, and the first promotion was a Facebook promotion called Lit. That
Yep,
Maniac
Lit
brought you in. Huh. Then,
Yeah. Fuck.
so, okay, fast forward, you're getting your run, right? Oh, what's up, Warzone?
Mhm.
All right, so you started on Facebook, you joined Lit. What does
Yeah.
even Lit mean?
I have no idea.
I never asked Prada that. How is
I have
Prada?
no idea.
I legit
He's
left the
good.
Facebook community.
He's good.
He's good.
Prada's literally just living. He's living,
You still
which
talk
is
to
great.
him?
Like
That's
not,
cool. Cause last time I
every
knew he
once
had
in a
like
while.
last time I talked to him, he had like back problems and shit like that. We were always
Yeah,
supposed to
yeah.
meet. You know what? I'm gonna
Nah, he leaned back from the whole like
Yeah.
e-fed shit because of the time and
Yeah.
production it took to really
He had
focus
really nice.
on
If you wanted a really good what the fuck production,
his shit. Was
Lit
yeah, his
was
shit was
legit.
funny.
Lit Wrestling was legit a what the fuck production. Oh man, that's great. All right.
No, it was really
So
good.
fast
Audio,
forward
sound,
now.
technique, side,
When did
all
you
that.
started getting traction on Instagram?
I got traction on Instagram once again thanks to fucking Maniac, because Maniac had the Faces of Fear faction already up and running, but it was his own characters. Like it was literally his own custom characters, which was Mastodon and Avid Ghoul.
Yeah.
So it was him and his two custom characters that were the Faces of Fear. And he proposed the idea of me joining to kind of like help me get a leg in and shit.
Mm-hmm.
So I did. I was like, yeah, fuck it. Like I fit the aesthetic, so let's go. My character was dark, the whole fucking nine. We did the dark gimmick for a while. I had unique fucking like fakes textures. He actually introduced me into like adding unique textures to the call to create attires, like taking a picture of fucking a Skyrim armor and turning that into a leg tights. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
incredible shit that he was able to fucking do, and he was doing it off an app. So I started doing the same thing, and it really branched off of there. I was like, yo, fuck this app. I got Photoshop. Let's fucking go.
Yeah.
So I evolved the logo for FOF. I pitched the idea to him of completely because he wanted a brand, Faces of Fear. But then I already like informed him, like, you know, there's a whole Samoan dynasty behind that. Like, we can't use that. Like, we have to change the name. We could use FOF, but we have to alter the name in some way. So I changed it to the Fathers and Femmes of Fear to keep that F, the initial F.
Yeah.
So we evolved the logo from there, and he like kept FOF to himself, and then I opened it up. Like I kind of opened the doors to other people kind of being able to walk in and shit, because he wasn't too keen on recruitment. Like he was never a recruiting guy. He didn't like recruiting anybody. So it was a matter of me pretty much like pitching him the name of somebody who I saw like kind of had the look or the aesthetic that would fit FOF.
Mm-hmm.
And like that's who I wanted to snatch, was like the people that had the cause that looked fucking like there was work put into them, because that's what I had gotten used to thanks to Maniac. And like that's where, you know, that first branching of FOF began. And then that first banner that we did, Malenko was one of the first like initial like members in FOF. And then came, you know, Haas, and then came, you know, others after that. And
What was your impressions of Malenko when you first hit him up?
Malenko's character really stood out because of his production. He put a lot of work into everything that he put out there. Like he really put in a lot of work, and it was very minimal. You know, he didn't like go over exaggerated. He was using certain filters. Like it was very minimal, but he made it work. And
Did you scout Malenko? Like this is
Yes.
already this is already Instagram, right? This
is on IG. On IG. Yeah, I scouted Malenko.
So basically,
I think he was, damn, I forgot the name of the faction. They all wore like gray or white or something like that.
So Christian Maniac, the whole Faces of Fear, boom. you're taking basically not in charge, but you're basically help expanding and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And now you're like a lot of people are scouting you and they're looking at you and all that shit, and you're getting more followers.
Well,
Or
yeah, I got more traction because of my stance in FOF.
yeah,
So a lot of companies picked me up from there, and yeah, I just built off that and shit. And
was
a lot of
Malenko already established in IG already?
I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what's
By the
up.
time I found him, yeah, he was already established. I think the name of the faction he was in at the time was called Purity,
Uh huh.
something like that. It was before Red Dragon.
Oh,
But
okay.
that was the thing with Malenko, is that he was very innovative. He was very creative, which is what like really caught my attention. And so like yeah, he was immediately someone I scouted. Alex just had a really cool looking call. Like he's always had those fucking scars, which you know he has like he's like the Joker, bro. He has so many different explanations for that fucking thing.
Did
But
he
I think
always
he
have
has
the fucked
one.
up eye, or his eye was
Yeah,
fine?
it's always been a fucked up eye. Always been a fucked up eye. But yeah, same thing with him. Like everybody that got scouted for FOF basically got scouted because we saw that they, you know, cared about their call. You know, they cared about how their call was treated and how it was viewed, which was, you know, it was admirable. And that's kind of like what I wanted to piece together, was people that did that, which is why FOF got as big as it did.
Do you favor the cause that are more? So there are cause, but there are cause that basically represent themselves, like me, right? Me.
Mhm.
That's the reason why I think you like me, is because my cause is me. It looks exactly like me, and I treat it like me. It's similar to Malenko, Haas, Maniac. Do you like those cause more? Like that's like your more personal type of
Yeah,
opinion.
yeah.
Yeah,
I like it more only
the
because
realism, kind of somewhat.
it's not just the realism, it's the groundedness, like the relativity.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you could convince me, like the same way when I watch a TV show, if the character on TV is portraying a certain type of character and he's able to convince me of that by his mannerisms, his dialect, you know, the way he fucking, you know, does his shit, then yeah, I'm sold. Like you
Mm-hmm.
basically sell me. Same thing with wrestlers in the ring. When they're
Yeah.
really devoted to their character, you sell me on what that character is.
Mm-hmm.
So it's easier to do that when you're you know, it's much
Yeah.
easier to do that when it's just you doing it. It's harder to do when you have to put a voice to a character. Like it creates a boundary. For me personally, I
Mm-hmm.
believe it creates a boundary between you and your character that, you know, you're not necessarily going to really understand your character unless you break that fucking boundary, which is why the personalization, it works to an extent.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because I know there's times where people will take the character and, you know, try to make it a direct version of themselves, like that they got
Mm-hmm.
the same job, the same life, the whole nine. It doesn't work. Like there has to be some form of fantasy and
Is there
character
is
on
there a
that.
specific call that does not, like, that isn't like us, but okay, you pulled it off. Good job. Like, is there a specific call like that that's not real, that does not look like us, but like this person pulled it
uh,
off?
that could pull it off.
That for you.
It's really tough to say. Honestly, it's come to a point where I don't even pay attention to anything outside of a specific spectrum that I kind of set out for myself. Like, you
Okay.
know, I don't, this is why the block button has become my best friend, or the unfollow button has become my best friend. Because if I don't want to see it on my timeline,
Yeah.
I'm not going to see it on my timeline. Like,
Yeah.
literally, it's as easy as that.
Yeah. Because
But
I
yeah,
think there's,
that's,
I say so. I like the real. I'm almost similar to you. I do like the realism cause, you know,
Mhm.
because it makes me feel like I'm actually talking to, or cutting a promo against, or have wrestling against a person who, like, okay, I see it. And
Yeah.
I think there's only probably 3 cause that does not fit that mold that I mean, but I'm like, oh, you pulled it off. You know what? I always wanted to wrestle you. Fuck it, I'll wrestle you. So,
Mm.
like a Lionel Suwa, like I'll wrestle a Lionel Suwa. I'll wrestle a Kiyoshi Saiba. You know, I mean, if these guys are able to pull it off, and their reason they have the followers because of the followers they have, because, you know, After all, it is role modeling. You're playing as an avatar. You're creating something. All right,
Yeah.
I'll wrestle you. You know, you built it, and I'm watching your match. Like, this is actually a pretty good match. Fuck it, I want to wrestle you. You know, I see it. Everybody sees it. I see it too. You know.
Right.
All right. Like, you're not my personal favorite, but you're a guy who I want to have a match with. So clearly, okay.
Yeah, I mean, it's
Somewhere
like
like
it's
that.
like me with fucking with ICP. I can't stand ICP for a fucking minute. I can't.
Uh
Fuck ICP. But I could respect ICP because of what they've done. Like
Yeah.
they've established themselves with no label help, so on and so forth. They've created a huge following because of it. So I can respect, the work, but
Yeah.
I don't have to like it.
No, you don't. You don't have to like it. Yeah, exactly.
No.
All right. So when did you feel you caught your big break in CAW? I mean, so people are signing you, right? You're signing to other promotions outside of Lit from Instagram side. Like, where did you get signed on Instagram?
I mean, it was mainly people that I felt more connections with than, complete strangers. I was always, and this was more because of Maniac. Again, it was an FOF quote unquote mentality where it's, if we value our character, we don't just throw them out there to everything.
Yeah.
And which is kind of like how I did that. So I tried to like develop some kind of relationship with anybody that was an owner and build off that. All right, if you got something for me, then we'll work forward, or if you don't have anything for me, then we could figure something out along the way, like whatever the case may be. But those were conversations that weren't like publicized or anything like that. This was just us trying to iron out and get an understanding of each other, not just on a professional level but on a personal level, because at the end of the day we're portraying characters, but we also have to understand the direction of what we want. If you don't know what I want unless I'm fucking telling you something.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, you don't get fed unless you open your mouth. Like, you feel me? So that's pretty much how my direction was with CAW as well. Like, if I put my time, my energy, and my effort in creating this character and portraying this character and writing a background for this character and developing a persona for this character and all this fucking work that went behind doing this, then I would expect expect the same from the owners. If you're gonna take your time and do that, like then it's gonna be fucking worth it. So it was more me signing to companies like at the time it was, god damn it, DWF. Another one was CSW, GIW, companies that were owned by Kyle Richardson. And the reason why I was signed with companies with Kyle Richardson was because we had developed a relationship outside of CAW. So
What
that
was
made it
your?
easier.
Did Kyle reach out to you first, or you reached out to Kyle?
I think it was mutual.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, I think it was
How
mutual.
was Kyle
'cause I
back
don't-
then? This is
Kyle-
what 2018 already? Yeah, Kyle.
Yeah, Kyle has always been chill. Like
Yeah.
I have nothing against the kid at all. Like he's always been a very chill-minded individual. He's just often misguided, which is understandable.
Yeah, everybody's
It, it happens. Everybody gets fucking misguided. You just have to eventually find your fucking way. And sometimes it takes that separation, which is why me and Kyle had to split and go our different ways, was because it was for the benefit of both of us. He wouldn't have gone as far as he did if I was still around, and I wouldn't have gotten as far as I did if he was still around. So it's like it's a give and take.
So I guess Kyle gave you your first big break, technically.
Basically, yeah.
Basically,
cool. Kyle and Dom was another one. Dom is the owner. Well, back then he had a very small company that he was very consistent with, and this is all AI versus AI.
Yeah, EFED.
And he kept up with that show at the DCW. So he kept up with that show for a while and shit, and I was part of that show also. So I never really got big due to my spot in signings. I think I made it big. Let's use quotes for that, because of how I approached my character, like how I've delivered my character. Either I'm liked because of how blunt I produce myself, or I'm disliked, but people are still intrigued to know what the fuck I'm doing, which pretty much proves that I'm doing the job right.
Yeah. Yeah.
which is fine. Like, dude, the reason again, like, I lost. This is a brand new account, so the reason I lost the original was because I was getting reported consistently because people just didn't like how I said things,
Yeah.
and they didn't understand that. When I created that account, like I told you, I thought of it as nonsense at first. Like, it was just stupid to create an account for a character. But then I understood, all right, this is an easy way for me to separate my personal self from the character that I'm trying to portray.
Yeah.
So everything that I do on this account is literally me speaking as if Gabriel Gates had fucking account, because I don't portray myself like I'm younger. No, I portray myself like I'm a 39-year-old man. Like, that's
Mm-hmm.
how old my call is for that reason, because it coincides with the story that I'm fucking telling,
Yeah. Yeah.
which is
Yeah.
the whole premise of creating the character, is to create a story behind them, create a reason why that character exists. At least for me, like that,
Of
I'm
course.
very adamant on character creation, especially with games, with the whole nine. That's like
I
my
always
favorite
feel
part.
like if you participated in a Renaissance fair, you will go full in depth
Oh,
with.
hell yeah. Balls to the wall, dude. Balls to the wall. I fucking
Or
love it.
like if you play Dungeons and Dragons, yeah, you're in. You want to be in Dungeons and I'll make you believe
Like, I
I'm
like
this.
I like acting. I like
Yeah.
acting. I like role playing, but I don't like the when it delves into the perverse role play. That's the role play that's
Yeah.
not fucking for me. Like, I like the role play where if you're building a character, you're able to portray this character full on, whether it be via audio, video, so on and so forth.
Hmm.
Like, I just love character. Character is fun because you could literally be anything. It's the one time you could be anything you want to be, is if
Hmm.
when you're building a character.
So what you call it? So Kyle gave you your big break and all that stuff.
Just
Did you so after Kyle were you in other? All right, so clearly Kyle didn't. I don't think he really did HLR. Were you in any HLR promotions during that time, or when did you get your
uh,
eyes peaked on HLR? Like, this is the shit I want. Like, I want to be in or some shit.
oh well, the first one was Legacy Wrestling.
Is that Collins promotion or
No,
not?
no, that's I think Eddie Vengeance.
Okay.
Yeah, he runs Legacy. But yeah, that was the first company that really caught my attention as far as like really well produced matches like that.
Mm,
So that was it. And I had joined Legacy for a stint, but there was just things that were happening behind the scenes I'll call it an unsupervised group chat
okay.
that I just didn't agree with, and I left. Like, I
Yeah.
didn't say a fucking word. I literally just quit. Like, I wasn't hanging around. And it was mainly because, I came into call, I'm portraying a character, but behind it all, I still have a sense of morality and a sense of principle where,
Yeah.
as a parent, there's certain things that I wouldn't expose a fucking kid to. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't do that. Like, I don't want to be responsible for anybody else fucking doing something stupid. And then, no, that's not, it wouldn't sit well with my conscience.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I left there, and then there was companies like WZW, but I don't even think I ever made a debut on WCW. Like,
did
no bullshit. I
did
know I got
Wade?
signed.
Yeah. Did Wade reach out to you or reach out to him? Say, hey, are you signing? Or
No, I reached out to him. I believe.
yeah.
I believe I reached out to him because that's literally when I started really developing an interest on the full on production of a match. I saw it was possible because I was already used to seeing AI versus AI produced matches,
Yeah.
and being a part of just AI and AI produced companies and shit. But yeah, how is that cap? I would love to know how's that cap. I would love to know how that's cap. I don't know. I don't remember when I fucking debuted. There was no hype behind it. I know I was on a poster. That's like the most companies will get out of me is a fucking poster, and
Was
then
this still Fathers of Fear already? Were you still doing FOF?
no, no. At that point, no, I wasn't an FOF. I think at that point you made an appearance second time around, but no match at all. Wait, what? I can't see because it's stupid fucking emoji.
You made an appearance your second time around, but no match at all. That's what Wade said.
So there you go. So there it is. So I still made did nothing in WCW. Pretty much. And that was like a lot of the problem. We started the storyline when you were revealed the attack backstage. Yeah, but when was that going to happen? Next year? I'm good. I'm going to be 40 years old, man. I got no more time to waste. No, but I mean, there was nothing, you know, it wasn't a personal thing. It was just a personal decision. I was not going to wait around for a feud when there was literally nothing being done to really hype it up. And it was on all parties at that point.
Yeah.
But it was what it was. I didn't see myself getting anywhere in a lot of companies, so I pulled the plug on a lot of companies myself.
Yeah.
Like even till this day, I do the same. Like if it's not going anywhere, if you don't know what the hell you want to do with my character, when my character has pretty much everything ironed out from a backstory to a foreground to a goal, everything, then you know, waste your time with everybody else. Like by all means, it is what it is. I'm not gonna sleep.
So we're gonna get a little personal here, because after what you just said, do you feel like some people you're really misunderstood? Do you feel like some people just misunderstand you? Like, because clearly you have a set character, you have a set, you have a set character, you have a set goal in mind and whatnot, and you're very simple to talk to. Clearly, because we're talking right now and whatnot, and I'm if like this, and this is me not even talking as one of your friends ever since you got signed here, because clearly you reached out to me for XVPW and you already had a set, and I'm talking to you like how I would talk to anybody else. Like, what do you want to do? Tell me your character. So you have a set thing, but do you feel like
that's what differed between you and a lot of companies, which is why, you know, I stuck by for the last 2.5 years now.
Yeah, we went back in time a little bit. Like, 2.5 years.
2.5 years, and that's why I stuck around, is because you came with that. You came with with at least a foundation and a format of, you know, what do you want to do? What are 5 things you want to see your character do in this company? Blah blah blah. And I had those answers for you, which are the same answers I had for any other company. It's just no company did what you did. You know, they didn't approach it like they just approach it like, all right, I signed you, and we'll figure out where to place you eventually.
Because, you know, just like, be guilty. A lot of promotions do that, and clearly the person behind the promotion could be a 15-year-old, 16-year-old, 18-year-old, no wrestling background whatsoever. They just, in Facebook we call that the shared button promotion way, right?
Button promos.
So, because you are technically my age, so you want to be treated seriously in whatever booking decision and all that stuff. And I feel, to me personally, I feel like not many people have that mindset as I do, or as a serious mindset. Like at the end of the day, you'll hear it a lot. It's just a game. I don't know why he's taking this seriously. He disrespected me. He disrespected that. You know, oh, he's not only talking. He's just ego tripping. He wants titles. Clearly, you don't do that. You just want, what do you have for me? I'm tired of waiting. I feel that's what I'm getting out of you. Like, I'm tired of waiting. I'm tired of, when will I debut?
Even you, who are probably the best evidence can attest. When I walked into XVPW and you asked me, none of the answers that I gave you had anything to do with the title. No, it was mainly, I want to tell a story. I want to build something out of this to create something. Like, it wasn't an immediate jump, which is how a lot of people, I guess, anticipate cause coming into their company. Is you know, if he's a big name, he's automatically gonna want a title run. Like, nah, man. Like, some of us don't give a fuck, because at the end of the day, those titles don't mean anything unless there's a build to it. Unless there's a story that makes that title fucking worth chasing. And that's a science I learned from, 1, studying wrestling, and 2, being in the industry. Was, you know, there's got to be a meaning behind it. It's got to make sense, which is a word that, you know, a lot of people use, but they don't really execute. You got to make it make sense. And you know, a lot of people are at fault for that. And those are the companies that, you know, I avoid, you know, because if you don't know what the fuck you're doing and you're just focusing on putting the popular guy behind the title because they have more followers, that doesn't mean shit unless there's a story behind that.
What
And
do
that's really what I fucking see
what do
often.
you how do you respond when people say, "Oh, Gates takes this too seriously"? Like, I'm pretty sure you got that a lot, right?
Oh, I've
Like,
gotten it millions of
yeah,
times.
like Gates takes this too seriously. You know, it's just a
No, you know
game.
what?
You know.
It's not just the game I take seriously. It's my time.
Yeah.
I value my time more than anything because again, I'm gonna be 40 years old. I don't have much left, so I'm gonna live life as best as I possibly could.
Hmm.
And if my time is being utilized, then yes, I take my time absolutely seriously, regardless of what it is. I could be sitting here counting pubic hair, but if I'm doing that, it's taking time out of my day. So, yes, I'm going to take that seriously. And that's called not lowballing my own work ethic. If I know I could work 100% at doing something minuscule, bro, imagine what I could do with something major. Like, that's how I approach life. Like, even if it's small, you still treat like performing. When you go out in the ring,
Hmm.
they tell you the first fucking thing, even if there's two people sitting out in that fucking audience, you treat that match and you fucking play out that match like there is 1,000 people watching. It
Hmm.
doesn't matter. Like you have to take it to that level. And that's how I've been raised. I've been raised not to half ass my effort. I don't half ass it because if it's got my name on it, if it's got my brand on it, if it's got my work behind it, I'm not going to give you the opportunity to say, oh, that was half ass. Like, no, absolutely not. That's why you won't see me pump out content every fucking day. I'll pump out content when I need to pump out fucking content because that's time out of my day.
Yeah.
And throughout the rest of my day, Max knows what am I doing. I'm either reviewing shit, gaming, helping my mother, fucking cooking, cleaning, taking care of my daughter, fucking working, so on and so forth. COD doesn't surround my life at all, dude. At all. This is the last thing on my fucking mind at the end of the day.
That's true.
When I have the time, trust me, I utilize the shit out of it because I know how to manage my time.
Hmm.
That's something I've learned with age. I can manage my time. I'll take the time out of my day to go on live, to fucking talk shit, to make sure my character is a convincing motherfucker so you guys can cry about it later and I could just be on with my day and continue the rest of my shit. Literally.
So, Warzone said something interesting. He said
What's up?
hashtag show the block list. How you don't have to name who, but how many people have you blocked, or how many people are
Dude, I'll
there
take the
blocked?
count. I'll take the count right now just for you guys. Hold
Because I'm
on.
pretty sure you don't block people you block people because you don't want to see the bullshit. That's
No,
basically
no, I unfollow, so I don't have to
yeah,
fucking see it on my timeline. You just have to unfollow.
yeah, yeah.
The people I block are the people that I know for a fact are persistently pieces of shit and will drag the shit out as long as they possibly can.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I block, is I'm not again my time.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Cause no
You
lie,
know?
I blocked only one person. Cause I never blocked anybody till I saw something and we experienced it. I'm like, all right, I gotta block this guy. Like if I see him in the chat, whatever, But I was like, I have to block this guy because it's for my own zen. It's like my own peace. Like I don't want to see it. I don't want to,
16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. Let's say it definitely surpasses the 30 mark.
30. You block 30. All
Yep.
right, I got you. Are there
Which is
Now, here's another question.
good.
Are there any people in XVPW roster that's on your block list?
No,
Okay.
not even Brock Pierce.
Okay. I respect that. You're the one who
I can
recommended
only
Brock Pierce to me too. It was like, yo,
yeah,
Brock is amazing talent.
because again, I could look past the character aspect and see the real.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, I'm a realist, bro. I'm an adult, so
Yeah.
I have to treat everything from an adult aspect. At the end of the day,
Yeah.
if it's gonna be detrimental to my
Hmm.
living situation or my personal life,
Hmm.
then you're not gonna see me fucking do it.
Yeah, and that's the reason why I
But
blocked that specific person because all
yeah,
right, I'm gonna mention it. I blocked Asire. I blocked him. I blocked him.
mhm,
He disrespect. I had this guy in my own crib. The following day, he disrespected you, Freshie. Well, technically Freshie at first. Then yeah, and I was like, what? This guy legit did a fucking a 180. Like, all right.
yeah,
So yeah, I blocked him. That's the only person I
mhm.
blocked. And I always see the person first, then the call. because you're role modeling technically.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a fucking role play.
Yeah. If you're gonna be toxic, be fucking disrespectful and all that shit, like, no, bro, I can't have that. Especially if I invite you to my own crib, you know, and we're filming, then that's gonna be. I'm gonna have that in the back of my head.
And then, just to even tackle off that, like on top of not just doing that, but then on another personal level, and then blame it on character.
Yeah.
Make up bullshit stories about Max and I's fucking relationship or how things run in XVPW. Like to go to that length and that extent just to be viewed a certain way, bro. Like, then there's no need. That's a definite block, because that's a person that's toxic, not just inside but outside of fucking.
Yeah, I can take. Everybody knows me behind the scenes. I'm the most chillest guy in the fucking world, you know, and everybody knows that I'm friends with you.
Like, that's to talk to.
Yeah, like. The fact that I'm friends with you with the reputation that you have in the community and whatnot, and they're still friends with me, knows that, Max is a fucking chill-ass guy. He interviews people, he does this, all that shit.
Yep.
He knows that. And if I can see that within you, hopefully they'll understand, you know. Did you drop your cigarette? You dropped your cigarette. This motherfucker. This guy. We're live, by the way, guys. So this is live and direct with Gabriel Gates. Oh snap! Did you? Are you? Oh, there you go. Now I can hear you. All right. There you go. You're fine.
Oh, shit. My apologies, folks. Don't worry. There's plenty more.
Man. All right. So. We got that out the way. We went a little personal, but
I hate when this shit happens. I think I kicked something like an idiot.
I think you're good, though.
Connect, motherfucker.
Your device is connected.
Thank you, whore.
There you go.
Right, there we go.
You good? You good? You're fine?
Yeah, he's good.
Right. So, XVPW, how did you discover it?
Again, that was another Christian Maniac move. He kind of noticed where I was taking my direction, because even after FOF, like whatever happened with FOF, like me and him outside of call, we're still like that's my bro. Like regardless of anything, I love that kid. Mm-hmm. So he basically like made the recommendation. He was like, you know, this spot over here, like I just scouted him, I got in, you know, you should check him out, blah blah blah. Like this dude Max, he seems pretty cool. So I was like, all right. So I did the same approach that I did with a lot of other companies with you, which was like, you know, what do I have to do to get in? So on and so forth. You gave me the prerequisites and I did what needed to be done. And when you asked me the questions that you asked me, I was taken by surprise, because no other company asked that. Like it showed that you actually gave a fuck about the direction of where a character is going to go on your show. And that meant a lot to me, because that's what I gave a fuck about. I didn't care about titles or none of that shit. I cared about, you know, telling a story. And then I started watching the season 1 of fucking XVPW. I went back, because that's what you told me to do, was go and research, check out the products. So
yeah, I was like, I think I said, like, oh, check this out before I rather let you look.
You make a decision.
Yeah. I always tell people that, because that was like my little test for people, is like, because some people will be like, do you want to sign here? And they don't give the link. Like, there are a lot of people are guilty of that. Oh, you want to sign here? I'm like, you don't even show me what your product is. I just see 51 followers on your thing. You don't give me no link to your show. You know, why would you ask me? Why do you want to sign me? So I told him, here, Gates, like, check this out first. You know, see what you're getting yourself into before you want to sign. Because clearly, I expect the best if you want to sign here, especially if you're reaching people who want to sign to XVPW. If you're reaching out to me personally, then clearly you want to join something you want to join, not because it's a promotion with a logo on it. No, if you want, hey, I want to sign with WWE. Why? It's like, that's me saying, hey, I want to sign with WWE. Why? Because you already know it's a big name. You saw their production, blah, blah, blah. That's like a kid saying, I want to sign with this, and they don't know what the fuck it is. You're just going to sign your name on the dotted line. So
Yeah,
yeah.
because it's bright. And honestly, I'm gonna be the first to say there's a lot of people in the community that are extremely guilty of that.
Hmm.
A promotion could have a cool logo and not a single post, and everybody and their mother will immediately sign to it
Yeah.
without nothing to show. Like, all right, so wonderful. All right, you're signed to yet another company, so you're gonna do the same fucking run that you've been doing in every company.
Hmm.
In that one, it's gonna be stale. It becomes fucking stale, and that was like my immediate objective, like my immediate objection to being in multiple promotions is like, all right, like how many stories can you actually run with your character if you don't really have an understanding of your fucking character?
Yeah.
You can't. But again, it all falls down to the same thing that most of these promoters look for: how many followers you got, how popular you are, so on and so forth. That gets you in the main event. No,
Yeah.
absolutely not.
So what were your
Which is
first
why,
impressions when you saw the product or the YouTube channel and all that stuff?
well, yeah, season one was it was surprising because it was the first time I saw after Lit, because Lit had almost the same formula where they
Yeah.
would use like live action promos, but made it more cinematic. You had scenes mapped out. Everything was done the way I guess like a short film would be done. There was always a direction that was going and leading to the climax of the show and shit. And that was for every show, from the comedy that was being put out there.
Mm.
It was it was very makeshift, but it's like B rated, but you know you're B rated, so you break that wall as often as possible. You know it's ridiculous. Like
Yeah.
the tube with like Cody Omega holding a fucking toilet tube with a sock through it for a microphone, like shit like that. It sold me. Like it really fucking sold me, and like I fell in love with that because you really delve into the imagination. Like you really delve into the character like creation of the whole fucking program, because without the characters all you got is just a stale program with a bunch of matches going on.
Hmm.
What the fuck? Like I don't watch fucking wrestling for that shit. I like to see why the fuck are these two in the ring beating the shit out of each other. Why? Like it has to lead up to that fucking point.
Yeah. Simple, simple, simple
That's
psychology. Why should I care about opponent A and opponent B? You know, oh,
exactly.
opponent B said that your mama, and opponent A took offense to that. All right, boom. That's the reason why they're fighting. He disrespect his mom. All right, how can we tell that in the story? Let's put some bullet points in there. You know, all right. So yeah, that's
Yeah.
simple wrestling psychology.
And that's the
Uh,
main word there is psychology. Like psychology is the main part of, I would personally say, running a promotion. And I'm not talking about as somebody that's ever owned his own promotion, never that. But I've been behind the scenes and watched the wheel get taken many times by the inexperienced, and it's taught me enough to know exactly where I want and where my character needs to be, like
mm,
regardless. Because like I said before, closed mouths don't get fed. You have to speak up and express.
yeah. What were your thoughts when I say, "Yo, come down to this address and we're gonna film some stuff"? You're like, "Wait, what?"
Well,
Uh,
anxious, actually really anxious. I wasn't really nervous because
yeah.
the performing I was already used to at that point because
Mhm.
of the band shit. The performing and portraying the character I was already kind of used to because of the IG lives and all the fucking posts and whatever.
Mhm.
So when you called me to actually portray it, it was a little daunting. I was like, fuck, like, all right, how's this gonna go down? What's like the first initial thoughts that went through my head is like, how big is this guy's apartment? Like, literally, that's the first thing that went through my head. I was like, this, like, what is this? A fucking penthouse or some shit? Like a whole studio? Then I got there and it was very simple, very
Mhm.
simplified, nothing over exaggerated. It was comfortable. Like it wasn't cluttered. Like everything, you have everything set up properly. And look at Meg. You had everything set up properly in order to get the job done that you needed to get done, which was it was it. Like it was perfect. Like, and I think that day I was there with Maniac and Alex, correct?
No, no. I think the first day we filmed it was just me and you, the
Oh
president,
yeah,
the
the
park scene.
outside.
Yeah.
Yep, the outside. Holy shit, yeah.
Do you remember anything from that day?
Yeah, I definitely remember that day. I remember it being a little hot under that coat. That's what I remember.
Yeah, it was hot that day. I
It was
remember because I remember my first impression of you when you came through. Like, oh, this guy's pretty chill, you know. Then we broke the ice when we did like a Star Wars reference. Cause I remember, I was like, you a Jedi motherfucker. You look like a fucking Jedi with the hood on.
oh, with the robe, yeah.
Yeah, that's
With
what
the fucking
happened. I
robe.
think that's what broke the ice.
We didn't know each other from a hole in the wall.
No,
at
we
all.
did not. We did not. I just thought, yo, come down. We'll film some scenes and all that stuff to kickstart your debut. Cause I remember you wore the hood. We made a Star Wars reference, and I think that's when you were my brother, Anakin. I trusted you. Yeah, and I think that's where we're like, yo, this guy's cool. I like him. Like we're gonna work well together.
Yeah, that's what really like sat well with you. Also, was when you put something together, you put your all into it, even if it's just small. And that's what I was explaining before. Like that's exactly how I am. Even if it's small, I try to put my all into it. Like I give a fuck about it because it's effort that I put into it. It's passion that I put into it. It's love that I put into it. And that's where, I really like connected with you was how you handled your production. Because sitting there that day after doing everything, watching you fucking pull up the programs and everything, like, dude, it was eye opening to say the least. That I saw someone else that cared about it as much as I did, even though it's just a fucking game. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Yeah. So we filmed and all of that. On your way back home, how did you feel? Did you feel like, oh, this could work, or this is actually pretty
I
fun?
felt, uh, yeah, I think the nerves kicked in when I was on my way home more
Yeah.
because I was more anxious at how it was going to look in the end.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know if I did the character justice or if it was portrayed properly. Like I was more nervous on like how I performed more than I was nervous about like how you were going to produce it because I
Mm-hmm.
was already in love with how you did your production from watching it previously.
Yeah.
That end result was it was almost Scorsese like. It was fucking very mafioso. So it was really cool. It was really, really fucking cool. And that was what really gave me more confidence and like really stapled that thought where it's like, all right, if I could do this here, then I should be able to do this anywhere else where they do production. But the only difference is that you took the time to understand my character. You took the time to ask me the questions to find out what the fuck, where I want to go. Like, you did what no other promoter did,
Mm-hmm.
which is give a fuck about my work. You gave a fuck about my character. And that is why, I decided to go exclusive and just stick with you because you understand. You want you understand the idea, you know what I mean?
God.
And the idea is literally work. Like I love to work. I love doing this shit. It's not just a pastime because I could literally be jerking off on those fucking first Sunday, those fucking first Sundays of the month. But instead, I decide to go down there and fucking spend that time with you guys and fucking film and do all that shit. That's part of it.
That was part of
That's also
the.
another part of it.
Yeah, that was like the
The
part of the
experience.
experience. Like Gates
Yeah,
experienced the okay, this is what it means.
that's a
That was
big part
actually
of
that
it.
was like I think me and you were teasing because I teased that a little bit too. I was like, okay, the first Sundays, like okay, we're gonna do this. Uh, when that aired, that your debut of XVPW, like how many
Yeah,
people messaged you? Like, what is this? Like, well, what? That's
I got
crazy.
I got a good amount of messages. Like they immediately saw the production and people were asking, how do I get in? Like,
Yeah.
what do I have to do to get in? This and that. And yeah, I got bombarded by a couple of people. A lot of people, obviously, close to me and shit. But even still, like I didn't want to give out too many beans because,
Mm-hmm.
in a selfish
It
way,
is selfish. Yeah. Yeah.
I felt like all right, this is a place that I found that understands, my character, and to have anything outside of that come in and tarnish that, or step on, the work that I'm doing, Like, I'm not gonna fucking have it. Like, no, there's no fucking way. I'm not letting nobody else get on top of this.
Yeah.
So that's how I felt at first, but then I was like nah, like this is actually a really good opportunity for a lot of people that actually
Have this.
enjoy doing character
Yeah.
work, enjoy, developing and progressing that fucking character and, building a story and so on and so forth. People that weren't so interested in always being put in the spotlight just because, like, and this is why instead of, responding to the people that were requesting, I would reach out to the people that I saw were good, which is why I brought to your attention guys like Brock and fucking fuck, goddamn, I forgot these assholes' name, Malenko, and so on and so forth. It wasn't just because they're my friends; it's
Yeah.
because they have the same passion for it. They have the same drive for it, and I know that they could do well with their characters placed in the right spot. And that's what I saw and what I still see in certain calls and shit. Because I'm constantly scouting on a daily basis, and not
Mm-hmm.
just for like XVPW purposes, but for my own purposes and fucking overall purposes and shit. There's always a fucking scout.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's really what it boiled down to, man. You provide something a lot of people don't or just can't provide, which is more of an understanding.
Mm-hmm. I totally.
Like, you have the experience of dealing with superstars and dealing with, a management and dealing with a crew and dealing with all that shit. So it makes more sense.
So we're gonna get a little personal again and whatnot.
Please do.
So, of course, I came back as X, right? And that I know that hurt you in a way. Like, fuck. Like, I'm happy.
No.
Oh, no. Like, you're happy for me, but the delaying of the shows and shit like
Yes.
that. Because I know when I saw your eyes and that AI versus AI Rob
my
Van
God.
Dam match, and of course I know in your head, like, man, like, I know I signed up for this and all this shit, and I'm happy for Max, like, getting back into Caw, because technically, like, yeah, the whole I came back as X, so yeah. So what was going through your head when I was getting signed in promotion? Because you did tell me, you're the Quran cook, you're getting signed in promotion, but how did you personally feel? Like, did you feel like, were you hurt that, like, I went back and it's delaying the production?
No.
Or
I wasn't hurt at you like doing anything. I was more hurt at the amount of attention that was being put on you developing a character that was meant to promote XVPW, but no work was being put into XVPW.
Yeah.
Like, that was my initial problem. Was like, all right, like, where's the representation? Like, where's the show that you're representing? Like, if we're all here waiting to work too. Like,
yeah,
you're out there working your ass off. We're depending on you in order for us to look good. So for fuck's sake, like, that was the real agitation.
yeah,
And I brought it to your attention, I was, I mean, personally, I don't think I was disrespectful in that conversation.
no,
I
you
came
weren't.
to you
No,
straight up and I told you, I was like, it hurts a little bit that, you care more about your character than you care about the show that you put more time into.
because I knew when we had that conversation, if Gates feels that way,
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure the people who signed with XVPW, like Dylan, Tony, not even the newcomer, I'm talking about the past people, like Cody, Zulite, people who really wanted this and were part of it. I was like, if Gates personally feels this way, then, like, I know other people must feel this way. So, and it was an eye
And
opener,
that
and it really was an eye opener for me. I'm like, you know what, like, he's right. And
that's one thing I also appreciate about, like, our relationship, is that I'm able to express that without you feeling like I'm judging you or without you feeling attacked, which is what a lot of fucking people like expect or anticipate out of me, is that you're automatically going to get attacked. No, like, there is always an underlying understanding, as long as you're able to fucking communicate that mutually.
We're men.
The relationship
We're exactly men. We're men.
Yeah,
and yeah,
exactly. At the end of the fucking day, yes.
yeah, because I had to think about it, and no lie, my run in 22 to, I guess, early, ever since that debut with debut has, Like I was on full mode, bound, banger, 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 and I'm like, I'm having fun. I'm having fun,
Mhm.
you know, because like yeah, I was gone for a while, and in my head I'm like, damn, I got to work on this show. Okay, like then I popped out like some AI versus AI shit, you know, consistency, but I'm like, it's not feeling the same. It's not having the XBPW feel. Then
Mhm.
it was actually thanks to you that we had that conversation and whatnot. And I'm like, all right, this is gonna be the go home show before Manhattan Massacre. I already have it. Like, if 2K23 is a banger game, you know, I'm gonna die down a little bit on like being these HLR matches and shit like that. I'm like, something needs to be different. Something needs to be different. It needs to stand out. I already experienced my time with all these HLR promotions that I'm still in. They're killing it right now. What can stand out? And that's when I thought of, and it was actually thanks to you. Um, we have to meet up first Sunday of every month in order to pop out something special. How did it feel when you actually get to experience the full XVPW experience for the first time?
It was it was eye opening. It showed that there was way more depth to this, and that I wasn't the only person that had a real passion for this, and
Yeah.
the sitting in a group of like in a room full of people that were on the same level, everybody directing each other, feeding off of each other's ideas to make sure that at the end the scene that involves everybody looks fucking proper. It's told well. You're trying to tell a
Mhm.
story through all this shit, take after take. The fucking spraying Alex with a fucking sweat bottle, like all that shit. It was at the end of the day, watching the final product is worth it. It's worth it because but like all the shit that went on to create that, to produce that, not just sitting behind a fucking computer and dragging a mouse along fucking audio files and video files and
Mhm.
cutting and shit. No, sitting in a room sweating your ass off or freezing your ass off with a whole group of fucking people all fucking feeding off of each other's energies, feeding off of ideas just to produce one segment, not even a full show, just a
Yeah.
fucking segment.
Yeah.
Like that is part of the XBPW experience that I don't think a lot of people in call like truly get a grasp of. Like, they're not going to be able to understand that unless they took that same length. Find the people local, get together, fucking create shit. Like I said, and that's where it differs. Was a lot of companies, they're comfortable sitting and dragging a fucking mouse. Good for them, but I like working for a company that gives a shit about their product to the point where they're willing to go balls out. Like I said, even if it's this small, work it like it's fucking this big.
Mhm.
That's the big picture for me.
That was always and because you're passionate. Like, if I was to say if you there was like a number one fan, you and Tony are probably fighting for that spot. Tony is loyal to the team. Even Zulet's loyal to the team, you know. But you guys are fighting for that spot, and I feel because I know in my head it's not even the ego cocky mentality at all. I'm not trying to compete with great productions like WZW, Relentless Madness. I'm not really a competitor in a way. I am very competitive, but when it comes to this, I know the struggles behind it. I know the struggles behind the mouse. I know the struggles of really trying to stand out, and that was my thing. Is like if everybody's doing this, I gotta find a way to be that Paul Heyman and be like, hey, I can't compete with a production like WWE with a multi-million-dollar production. I can't compete with WCW with their Ted Turner free bank account. I can't compete with Tony Khan's dad's money. Like, if I'm gonna stand out, I have to find a way to stand out. And being behind a green screen, I'll purchase a fucking green screen. I'll purchase a fucking DSLR camera. I'll purchase a camera itself. Why? Because these people like you, like Tony, like Brock, Chris Sinister now, Kat, Travis, who travels fucking from PA to here,
Fucking yeah.
M Accuracy, who travels from Camden to Surge, even though he's fucking late. Like, if they see my passion and my thing, and they're coming down here, then I have to do this for y'all. Because at the end of the day, like, there wouldn't be an XVPW without y'all, and you're the reason why. So that was always my thing. Like, I do this for the love of it. Yes, I'm competing with other promotions because we're all in the same thing. But in my head, it's not really competing. It's more like, I'm trying to stand out. And if we make it big, I can take y'all with me. Like, that's my thing. Like, oh, what's this call promotion? If I'm this close to getting Xavier Woods and signing to G4, hey guys, there's a fucking community that does this. Boom, y'all are with me. And the other promotions that I'm in, because X is in other promotions like WZW, Cardinals World Tour, so NWF. I can shout y'all out and be like, yo, these guys are here too, you know. And that was always my mentality. It never changed at all. Cause yes, like that's basically like the love from like y'all and the people who support X also will support XVPW. You know, granted the dramas and all this shit, I can care less about that. Cause I told you, and you already say in the chat, like in the chats, like I'm here to do fucking business and have fun to film. Because yeah, my director mentality, and you've seen my director mentality, like I'm focused as fuck. But the minute we have a really good segment and you know that's it, we start clapping. Because you seen Travis killed it, right? You seen Travis, like we had a direction, boom. No matter how many takes we did, but the minute he killed it, I'm like, Travis, you gotta go up higher, bro. Like I want you to go fucking buck wild at the end. He was like, and that clap at the end, that's when you know, that's the XVP. That's what Max's vision's about. Like we saw it, that was it, you know. The Office segment, when people were like, what the fuck are these, like, did these guys practice? No, we didn't practice that. We nailed it out the park because we were going behind the scenes. And we're like, what is this? And
yeah, fucking, it's, and this is why, like, when people say, you know, fucking, they take it too serious. Yeah, we take it seriously because
we're having fun.
We put in work. Like, we're putting in work. Like, we're having fun, but we're putting in work. Like we're going out of our way to fucking do this, to entertain and to tell a fucking story, not to flaunt fucking pixelated titles and create posters with hundreds of titles attached to you just because it looks cool.
Yeah.
Like that doesn't mean shit.
You know what's the most satisfying feeling? Because I was doing commentary on that part. The satisfying feeling is when everybody was doing the laughing emoji and everybody was getting the references that we were doing. That was like, that right there was like, we did it, guys. We fucking did it. If I was able to give a fucking motivational speech before a fucking show, like, yo, like that, I wish I could have. But seeing if I could have a little teary-eye moment, that was it. Like, we did it, Gates. We fucking did it. The laughing emojis. People were commenting, XVPW The Office. Zulight's like, what the fuck is this real world? Like, yo.
Yeah, and you were nervous as fuck going into it from Friday all the way through.
I'm always
anxious as fuck.
Yeah, I was fucking nervous, bro. I was fucking nervous for sure.
We have to keep reminding you, man. It's gonna be a good show. Don't worry.
But yeah, man. So, I mean, this is a really good fucking. Who's it? Oh, Surge is on the house. I'm late, but I would rather be late than not to show up. I believe Max and I believe in you, Max. Oh, thank you, bro. Appreciate it. Coming from Camden is crazy. I was born and raised there. That's a hike. Yeah, man.
Yeah, it's a fucking hike.
Yeah, for sure.
That shit's a drama.
Can't believe you were nervous about the show. Came out amazing all around. Yeah, man. I am. Because I know how much these guys fucking, like, I know the effort that went behind it, you know? And that's the part is like, fuck. And I have to make sure that if everybody did a perfect fucking take, you know, and like we know that that's it, that's the fucking segment, that right there, then I have to know I have to edit perfectly and make sure the show comes out perfectly. And being live is totally different than waiting for premiere to happen. So that's another thing I want to stand out. It's like, yo, none that I know, did a live HLR show, you know? So to have that, it's like, okay, that's a little different. And, whew, bro.
It was a long time coming, and that was a show that was supposed to be released in April 1st to be exact.
Yes,
that show was supposed to be dropped.
Yeah, but I'm happy I took.
yeah, the fact that it took its time and beyond that, you came up with the idea of going back to a consolidated venue and giving a more indie feel. Like it made up for the time. It really did
Yeah.
made up for the time.
And
The
me
filming
botching the first part made it very indie in a way too, which I
yeah,
kind of
indie.
like.
Oh my god, it was fucking good all around.
Yeah.
That it was a great show. The stories being told leading up to the next episode.
And it's thanks to,
Uh,
and it's
I'm
actually thanks to you in a way. Is you got me out of that. You smacked you. If you were to super kick me or give me a bong rip to
You
wake
were
the
about
fuck.
to get comfortable with the AI shit, man.
Yeah.
Way too comfortable.
Yeah.
You were hanging out with these fucking share button feds too much.
But you woke me up and say, yo, like this isn't. If you tell me, hey, this is not what I signed up for and shit like that, I'm like, you know what, you are right. And it was thanks to you that I had a good eye opener. I'm like, okay, how can I go back? How can I go back? What made XVPW? And it was the meetups. It was legit the meetups with my friends back when I first started. And I was like, yo, everybody here is fucking entertaining. Y'all are talented as fuck. Everybody here, we can do something. And I'm like, what do you want to do? I'm like, yo, I have a wrestling. We both love wrestling. Let's make a parody wrestling show. You know? And we all...
That's part of the reason why I love this shit is because what you do, and I can't wait to get that merch printed, is you sign talent, not fucking cause. Anybody could be a pixelated fucking piece of nothing. But to actually have them portrayed properly, that takes talent. Real talent.
And everybody who I signed.
Everybody on it. I'm happy to be working with everyone that's on the roster. Like,
yeah, man. Everybody in XVPW is legit talented as fuck. Granted, some are far away, some are local. You know, some people don't like working with other people, but they're here for one reason, and it's they love XVPW, and they see something, and I see something in them. I'm like, yo, if you want to tell that story, you want to achieve something with it, I don't care about the drama. I don't care about whatever. If you're here, just tell a story, just have fun. And that's really what fucking matters at the end. It's all about the show. Vince had to work with fucking Shawn Michaels and Bret Hart with their drama. But goddamn, they put on some fucking good matches. Right?
They really fucking did.
Right? Fucking Owen fucking injured the fucking Stone Cold Steve Austin, but they had to work behind that. And who picked up the fucking pieces? Fucking Rock. You know? Yep. Like, some people don't, I get it, some people do not like working with other people. I don't have to like you or, you know, but we have to work together somehow to build this fucking story. We have to work together to put on a really good fucking product, you know? And that's all that matters in the end. You know, for me, at least, for me personally, at least where it counts. Because I'm not gonna, let bygones be by and work with somebody that I don't like in a company that's honestly not doing shit with me. So I'll leave. I will literally fucking leave if the company has no fucking direction. If there's no direction and I'm still forced to work with people I don't want to work with, then the company's not worth it. I don't care. My character is a fucking nomad. He could travel anywhere he fucking wants, anywhere. Yeah. But I chose to fucking lay down my seat exactly where I'm at, dude. I'm happy here. Would you consider yourself? All right, so I know. So Vince McMahon had his Undertaker, his Stone Cold, his Rock, all that shit. Because why they were very loyal. Like, what would you consider yourself as a wrestler in XVPW? I consider Wolf King or Tony Effingers as like the Undertaker for XVPW because he probably never left with all the years coming by, always been loyal to the team. What would you consider yourself in XVPW, like compared to a wrestler?
I'm still fresh technically in XVPW, even with 2.5 years and a couple of matches under the belt. Like, I still consider myself a little fresh, so maybe Jericho.
You'll be a Jericho?
Like, yeah, like Y2J.
I got you.
Coming in loud, making a statement immediately. Yeah, definitely Jericho.
You know, it's funny. I consider yourself like a Stone Cold in a way, for me at least, because you'll you'll work well with events. You know, like this is what it's all about. Like I can't go anywhere else. You know, because I choose not to go anywhere else. Like you know, there's a pattern there. You know, and Vince and fucking Stone Cold work very well together to build up those fucking ratings. You know.
Yeah.
Undertaker always loyal to the T for Vince. If some guy drops the ball, I know that I can rely on him to pick it back up.
Exactly. Yeah.
Fucking Monoxide, fucking like I think he's also another Undertaker in a way, because he's seen he saw me in my downs. Then, you know, he was like, oh shit, like, you know, but he so basically if I was you, he was me in a way, because misunderstood, right? Misunderstood, cocky to the fucking T, trolling the shit out of other promotions and whatnot. But Monoxide, like, oh, this guy's just a fucking troll. He's not really disrespecting you guys, you know. And he was in promotions, and that promotion that hated XVPW, you know. He saw that, because he saw, you know, that was me, because I was a cocky little arrogant prick saying XVPW is the shit. Fuck y'all other shared button promotions. Like, what the fuck is this? You know, some guys are cutting the most wackest, horrible promos ever. And you allow this to air? What the fuck? You know? Yeah, he saw me like that, because I was doing that. And I was arrogant little, you know, I was on the comments, you know, like, because, you know, I didn't know shit. Yeah. You know, then Steve actually talked to me. He's like, yo, I understand where you're coming from. You know, you are right. XVPW is a great promotion and all that stuff, but you're losing. You know, you're losing people in the community, and you're just picking people who've been doing it longer than you. And I'm like, you know what? You are right. You know, because these guys has been doing it longer than me. Steve's been doing this since 2008, 9, probably 10. You know, Travis started. You know, so then I'm like, yeah, you're all right. So I leave the shit talking to my roster. You know, I leave the shit talking to the fans of XVPW, because you saw it. You saw that fucking when Khan disrespected XVPW, and I was just calling him out. I was being nice. I'm like, yo, why are you doing this? You know, is this to get clout? And I totally understand. But now you're just opening a can of worms where my following is shitting on your product. And are you able to take that heat? Because I understand if you are, you know. So yeah. So I leave the shit talking to everybody. You know?
It gets to that fucking point. And I told you, I've spoken to you personally. Like, I'll be the first one of the front lines if anybody has a fucking thing to say.
Yeah, you'll be the foxhole.
Just because I know how much you do and how passionate you are about it. It's on the same level as I am with the product and with my character. I'll defend it to a fucking T. Like, I don't give a shit, again, because it's my time, and I value my time more than anything.
Yeah. That's the reason why that's the reason why, because I see fans will do it all the time too. Even wrestling fans. I like AEW. I like New Japan Pro Wrestling. I love WWE. They'll defend those, especially those AEW marks. They will defend to the front lines. You know, and I respect that, because that's what this product somewhat does to people in a way, because they know that, like, my motto is you talk shit but you back it up. I'm able to talk my shit and back it up when I need to, especially if a guy's being very disrespectful. If you're being disrespectful and you can't back it up, then all right, you're just talking out your ass. But now I'm gonna reply, because I'm gonna talk shit, but I'm gonna back it up to defend the people who are in my roster, and to defend this right here. Like, I will defend Gates, I will defend Tony, because these guys work hard to the T, and I seen it. I experienced it. Yeah, man.
You know, whereas people think that we're over here pulling the strings on you, and you're doing it all alone. If it wasn't that, like, you know, yeah.
No, I don't.
Certain comments that, you know, slip by, that people think go unnoticed, but I'm glad. Yeah. I'm glad that they view it that way, because at the end of the day, we know exactly what we went through to do this. And I always love to see the stories come out like that happened. No, it didn't. But, you know, I'm not. Like, damn, when When did I do that?
That's
even. Awesome.
That's the thing. Like, you are good at responding. I don't respond because I have to play the Vince McMahon, and that's the reason why I actually respect Vince McMahon, because he does not reply on Twitter. He just says happy birthdays, because he was able to speak his mind, and whatnot, shit will go down. But I'm the Vince McMahon. I don't reply. Like, I just look and I'm like, okay, you know. But when it comes to that point where I have to defend, oh man, I hope that person brings a bunch of artillery, because I'm gonna drop one big nuke and they're not gonna see it coming. And that's what happened to Khan. That fucking Khan, bro. People warned him. A lot of people warned him. Yo, do not poke holes at XVPW or Max. Because a lot of people, Steven warned him. Ray Geddes warned him. A lot of people, he get 2 weeks of dropping a bunch of like red X's. We are the real alternative. Then one day I went live and I dropped the biggest nuke on him, to the point where he had to not hop out of the show for like 2 or 3 like months. Like, okay. So yeah.
Yeah, he was silent for a minute.
Yeah.
You have to recover from that shit.
And man,
but there's another philosophy that I wanted to bring up just to fucking for it to make sense to a lot of people.
Man.
There's a difference. This is in wrestling world in general. There's a difference when you walk out of a locker room and into the arena to portray a character, and there's a difference between that and when you walk back through that curtain through the locker room and think that the person you just portrayed in the ring is exactly who you are backstage. A lot of these people in call have that mentality where it's like, all right, I can portray the certain character this way, but then even when it's on another tip, I'm gonna fucking, you know, still be that. Like, no, like take the balls out of your ass. Like it doesn't exist like that, and that shit happens way too fucking often. As people talk way more than their asses can check. You know what I mean? Like it happens way too often, especially when it's not coincided. I see it a lot when two people are going back and forth and they're not even in the same fucking company. So it's not leading up to anything.
Yeah.
Like, it's not even building a fucking story at that part. It's just nonsense for the sake of fucking nonsense. And this is why I end up blocking a lot of people, is because if we're not going to fucking turn this into something, then fuck yourself. Like, you can talk all the shit you want. I don't have to see it. I don't have to acknowledge it. So I'm perfectly fine. The only time I ever see it or catch wind of like somebody mentioning my name or me coming up in a conversation is when it's brought to my attention. And that just shows that, okay, I do have legitimate supporters. I have people that actually give a shit about my character because they don't like seeing it being tarnished by bullshit, which I appreciate. But then again, that's my character. I want it to be fucking disliked. Like, that's the whole purpose of it. It's meant to be a disliked motherfucker. But he's disliked for a goddamn reason. And if people would take the time to find out, then they would know. The fucking examples are all over the tattoos too. All those tattoos tell a story. FOF is in those tattoos. The Elite was in those tattoos. Everything.
Yeah, man. And there's a reason. You know, there's a lot of reasons why I sign people. You know, because one is either you, because you brought them to my attention, and two, it's more like, what else can you offer outside of the whole call thing? Because if you sign XVPW, you like what you see. Okay, cool. I'll sign you. You know, because you're very talented in a promo. You're comfortable in front of a camera. You know, you take direction well. That's the reason why I like people like Andrew Kaz. He takes direction very well. You know, Betty takes direction very well. Zulite bought a green screen and a tripod just for XVPW. You know, I didn't have to tell him that, but he did it anyway. He went out and about, and not only that, but he took direction very well. You know,
but not only did he spend time, he spent money on on XVPW, which shows he has love for this shit.
Yeah, I bought other people tripods too, a tripod with a phone mount, because you know why? Dude, I wanted my product.
Behind me. Yeah. This green screen behind me right now. Yeah. Was what?
One something. Yeah. You know,
just to make it fucking work, so everybody can fucking work and everybody can fucking build together. That's
because it's not only because I want to help and all that shit. Is because one, I see a person's loyalty and dedication and also I want my product to look really fucking good. If I see this all the time, you know, then all right, like well, like I get it, but can you just do this for a while? But then sooner or later, I'm getting tired of doing this. So you know what? Let's get this. Let me get you a fucking $12 fucking phone mount. You know, because yeah, like because that's the thing. Like I want my product to look good, even if you're gonna leave the following show or some shit. At least you contribute something, and I helped you with your fucking career.
I'll even give fucking what is it? Fucking Kaz. Fucking Andrew Kazarian, Jay.
Yeah.
Son of a bitch filmed this shit, but he had someone else actually hold the camera and cinematically follow him, do the whole deal. So
yeah,
I like that.
That was
I
good.
actually really like the way that came out.
Yeah. Fucking Andrew. And fun fact, he filmed that was actually an AEW show, if I'm not corrected. When he said, yo, I'm actually going to go to a parking lot and whatnot, and like I'm going to be in AEW. I'm like, oh, cool. So he was in an AEW event, and he actually took the time. That's what I like. It's little simple efforts like that. I held fucking Benaya was supposed to debut at this show, but he shaved his fucking beard, and I told him, fuck, you look like the fucking Gerber baby now. You don't look like your fucking Kaw. So we waited 3 weeks. We waited a week so he can develop some type of facial hair and whatnot. And he still gave me his promo, but it was already late. So I told him, you know what, bro? We'll air it at the next. I'll just make a separate video and whatnot. Fucking Little J, fucking he listened to fucking directions.
Dude, yes.
I told him he did fucking 20 takes. I think that was ever his first video promo, IRL promo. I don't know if he did other IRL promos, but he actually did one. He listened very well.
Not like that.
Yeah.
Not like that.
I gave him direction. I told him, you did 20. He told me, Max, I did 20 takes. I'm like, I don't want to see the 20 takes. I want you to do it over again because I'm pretty sure you're fucking nervous. So be yourself. Have fun with it. Don't be Little J the character. Just be you. And I want you to say Narf at the end. I told him. I told him straight up, say Narf at the end. If you don't say Narf, it's not gonna go good. I want you to say Narf. Just scream it very loud. I didn't care about the promo itself. I just cared about that specific little thing. Because I didn't see the fucking promo till later on. Mm-hmm. And so say Narf at the end and have fun with it. Just put the music down 50%. He listened to direction, and that's all that mattered. And goddamn, it got over. Because a lot of people shared the shit out of it. And that's also, and that's part of the XVPW experience. I'm not working with you per se, but if you're listening to direction and you're experiencing what I'm telling you to do, that's all that fucking matters. And goddamn, it got over.
The only thing that I had to complain about, but I'm glad that it came out the way it did and we turned it into a full mockery, was that ridiculous fucking sinister shit that happened.
Yes.
I'm so fucking glad that we roasted the shit out of that and Tony destroyed it because it was stupid. I'm going to be the first one to fucking say it. It was effortless and stupid. If it was going to be done right, like get a friend of yours to record the fucking voice or do it yourself. But the AI thing does not fit, bro. It does not fit the vernacular. Max let it slide and asked Max, what did I say? I said, watch, bro. I'm not going to let this fucking die because this is stupid. Yeah. We're here in your house working our asses off and this dude sends a voice promo that we have to put a call over. And a shitty voice promo as that? Fucking no. That was absolutely terrible. I don't give a fuck what anybody else says. I'm going to be the first to say it. That was lazy as fuck, which expresses a lot. So fuck that. Ain't nobody in XVPW going to put that fucking shit over.
And I tried. Because I saw it, and I'm like, I already know what people are going to say. I already know what people were going to stink. But I know Wade really tried his best because he did the voices and all that stuff for the AI, and I'm like, all right, I'm gonna try this. And Tony,
the frequencies don't even match.
And I told Tony was the perfect guy for it. I'm like, Tony, like I know how you're gonna feel, and I'd rather you just voice it out, you know, because whatever everybody's gonna say in those comments, it's not gonna be light. So I'm pretty sure, and that's why I put Jim Cornette right after it. If you notice. I put Jim Cornette right about it, because I'm pretty sure whatever Tony's feeling is what Jim Cornette's gonna feel. So like, you know what?
Yeah.
We're gonna work on this, and we're really gonna do good.
And that wasn't just Tony. That was everybody else there that took the time to fucking put some actual effort into shit.
Yeah.
Everybody
I
felt
was
that
like,
way because we all, even Kat was standing there like, "What the fuck is this stupid shit?
Yeah.
This is stupid."
Yeah.
So I'm glad it was made a mockery of, because that's exactly what it was. It makes a mockery out of the rest of us on this roster that go through the experience the right fucking way. That's part of it.
Yeah.
Fuck that shit. That was horrible, but I'm glad it came out the way it did. Because Tony flipping out was the icing on the cake.
Because Tony represent that character, Kevin Kennedy, represent the people in the chat. Like, okay, yeah.
What else you got to say there, My Chemical Romance? Like, come on.
There's a lot of jokes behind, like a lot of like I'm clowning myself. Like, I'm legit clowning myself. The biggest baby face in XVPW, and I'm clowning myself. Like, yeah, I'm gonna act like I'm in my head. I'm like, am I 90 Shawn Michaels behind the scenes? Like, I'm not hard to work with, but I will like.
It's just a huge inconvenience backstage.
Gates is the fucking biggest heel and call in the IG community, but he's like, I'm portraying him as this really nice guy that I take advantage of because of his luggage.
With minor rage issues behind the camera.
Yeah.
Minor.
Yeah, like
Bring your fucking.
That's the thing, because it's supposed to be a clowning fucking show. We're legit clowning each other because we clown each other in real life. We clown the people in behind the scenes. And
this is why, like, when looking at the chats, like for the show and shit, it was funny to watch a lot of the things come up, because it's like, all right, like, this is shit we say to each other on a daily basis in private, so it's not even, it rolls off our back.
Because it comes natural. We clown, and everybody's not a fucking. Everybody's not Sugar Raindrops, and everybody's not the Superman. You're not gonna come Captain Save-A-Caw, like, no, because that's how we are in real life. XVPW brings that out of people. If we know it's shit and the crowd know it's shit, we're gonna make a skit out of it. We're gonna knock
the shit out of it, dude. Here, you want me to show them? Look what I just made to make a fucking bigger mockery. Hang on. Oh shit! Look, it's falling apart. That's how fucking ghetto it is.
That's great. Fucking Brock Pierce used a Dove shampoo as a fucking, and I told him, yo, use the Dove shampoo.
Hey, look at this.
That's actually not that bad. It really isn't.
Big ass box on a little microphone for that reason, to exaggerate the fucking X.
Yeah.
It's a mockery, but it's a mockery.
People in ECW, fucking people in ECW say you fucked up in a match. Of course, we're gonna stand it out. if they want to say you fuck up, we're gonna say this shit is trash. I botched my own fucking intro because I forgot to put an extra scene. I was like, hey, we're live. We're live. Fuck it. Y'all know I fuck up. We know this skit is trash. It's gonna be trash. Because this community is fucking harsh. I'm gonna tell you that right now. This community, this HLR, the community itself is harsh. The HLR community is more harsher because they know that if you're working hard on a match and we see this shit be ass, we're gonna tell you it's fucking ass. And it doesn't help the fact that we have more observers and journalists now, pinpointing.
Oh God, don't even get me started on this shit.
So
don't even get me started, because for one, all right, you know what? Get me started. Look, more than one review is fine. We have that for movies and we have that for other things, but let's keep in key here. The people that develop a lot of these critic companies are either former producers, former writers, former scripters, so on and so forth, that create these reviews because they have an idea of what it takes to do so on and so forth. Mm-hmm. A lot of these fucking reviewers have no fucking clue about the psychology of wrestling, the process of fucking doing so on and so forth. They're reviewing it for the overall aesthetic. So and that's something I'm going to keep fucking saying. Do not take any of these reviews to heart. Don't take them seriously. Don't let them fucking, disgruntle you. Don't let them don't let it make you feel any kind of way, because again, it's just opinions.
I see.
That's what these reviews
You know, it's
are.
funny,
Fucking,
and I'm in this HLR groups, and I see people, and I'm gonna be honest. It's like they're trying to make matches to cater to these observer journalist shit. I'm like, yo, and as a person who got 3 5-star matches, I didn't give 2 shits about the observer, or I did matches to cater to observer journalists, Wrestle Hub.
now here's my question. That observer that does the review on the superstars and any shit, what are you really getting out of it? Well, how big is their audience in order to get you more exposure than you already have?
Yeah.
How big is their audience? Like, it's pretty much the same audience that you already have, because it's the same fucking circle.
Yeah.
If you're not able to take a product and branch it outside of just call, what are you really providing? What service are you really providing to the community?
Exactly.
None. You're just basing your opinion with a cool poster. Whoopoo. I do that live, face off, like easy. Except I get fucking worse heat for it.
Yeah, man. So for people who are trying to do this whole, like, trying to cater to observer to get a star or whatnot, like, don't base your match around that. Base your match around how you and Shawn Michaels said it best, is he'll ask constructive criticism from a person who does it longer. He won't ask people. He won't ask like 10 or 15 people, like, was that a good match? He'll ask probably only 2 people. Same thing with, you'll know when it's a good match because you'll see it right there. I'm like, that's the match. Like, that's it right there.
I'll say this: unless the person behind Call Observer runs like fucking one of the biggest HLR companies or wrestling feds in Call, I don't need to fucking take his opinion into value for shit.
Yeah.
Realistically.
Yeah. Like when I do an HLR match, I always ask Gates and the other person or whoever, if I'm participating with, like, okay, I'm doing a match. It's me versus Gates. Gates, what are 3 spots you want to do, and what are 3 moves you want to do? And I'll feed off that. Anything else you wanted to see yourself do? Okay, let's try this. Okay, what's the ending? And that's it. That's it.
The other one you like to ask is like, oh, what's your favorite like catch match, or what's your favorite MMA fight or something?
Yeah.
That. So,
like okay, give me something to represent. Like I'll try to get a good idea, And that's really about it of how I produce a match, and that's one thing I really did like about that last show that I did, is because it was variety of matches, and I did my first ever tag team match there, and so it was like tag team opener, singles, a triple threat, and 2 singles, and it ended with a title and whatnot. Because I'm old school. You never leave you had to have your best grudge match in the beginning, or you leave it at the end, or if you want to work towards the audience, you have a tag team fucking spot fest match to capture the audience first. Leave them at all, because you don't want to burn them out. That was always my thing, and I'm a traditional, so title matches should always be at the end because people look forward to that. Yeah. But yeah.
Wait, what? What did you say?
Late, but if you told me it's stank, I would have completely changed it. And everyone just tried my voice. Wish you have told me about the Sinister Front stuff. I am so open to working with you guys. Oh, thank you. We got next time. We have next show.
It had to be experienced in order for us to really understand where to go.
So, fun fact is, when I heard Wade send it to me, I was like, this is actually pretty good. So in my eyes, right? In my eyes, my ears, it was actually pretty good. I accepted it. But then when I saw the people around work with it, I'm like, oh man, like, because it sounded different later on when you're working with a group. Like, man, I have to find to make this work because I don't want to scrap it. Yeah, but we have next time. There's always other shows. We
made it work though.
We made it work. We made it into a skit. We made it into a fucking skit.
It started off as a good segment.
Yeah.
It kind of puts. I mean, it already painted a picture. painted
Yeah.
the picture it was obviously going to paint to the comments, to the people that are going to watch. It's going to be seen as the same thing we all saw it.
Yeah.
So to put it over, I think it was done in the best way possible in order for it to get over in any way, shape, or form. I mean, look at the shit with Maniac, the silent killer. The guy.
Oh, we should call him that. We should call Mania
The
that.
guy, the guy does not speak, but somehow Max found a way to finagle that and make it work. And it was funny. It was fucking funny. Travis.
Yeah.
Props to Travis for carrying that skit though, because god damn, that was amazing.
Yeah,
so
man.
many fucking it was really good.
So
Really
the backstory behind Maniac, guys, I don't know if you noticed, and I'm pretty sure he probably wouldn't even care if I told this story because we say it so many times in lives. Maniac has a lot of stage fright. Christian Maniac is a stage fright person. I experienced it firsthand. He didn't tell me till I said action, and my man froze on camera. And this is working with Haas. This is working with, I believe, Tony and whatnot. And we're like, and I asked him, "Yo, are you okay?" It was very hard, and I had to work around that because I know Maniac is a really good talent. He's over clearly, not because of Crossface Pro, but for some reason, Gates even said himself, "This guy doesn't do nothing, and he's over." I'm talking. I have the best fucking graphics, and I'm doing this shit. And this guy's more over. Clearly, even Wade is a big fan of Maniac. So, but behind the scenes, I'm giving him certain lines. He can't remember it. I'm giving him 1 sentence, 2 sentence lines. It's hard for him. He has to find a way to get comfortable. So when he came that day to film, I say, "Hey, I have something perfect for you, and I think it's gonna go over and whatnot. Don't worry about it. Just worry about facials, know where to put your hands in your pockets, do little movements like this, and and that was it." And the Maniac listened, and it was thanks to Travis and Tony that this guy got over. Because clearly, clearly it worked. And Gates saw what I saw. He's like, "We're gonna make this guy into the fucking star that he is right now." And I learned that through Gates. If this guy is over just by being quiet, we're going to make him go over and be quiet.
Yeah. The same way. We don't have to change his formula. He keeps the formula the same way he does. He doesn't have to do nothing but look good.
But man,
which Maniac does a good job at doing.
Yeah, he has good facials. Granted, he wears fucking sunglasses.
Dude, I accept it simply because I don't know what it is. I really don't know. And it's not just because of my personal love for the cases. Like I said, I know him outside of Call for years, even before Call. But he's a charismatic and very soft-spoken person.
Yeah.
But his character is the complete opposite.
This guy is not one to scream. This guy is not one. This guy's... If you put a microphone on him...
Soft-spoken mother. And this is why... I believe like FOF got as far as it did is because I kind of became like Maniac's anger translator. I was the voice that Maniac didn't have. So when
that should be a fucking skit. FOF, that should be a fucking skit.
What, me as a Maniac's anger translator?
Yeah, not even this is translated. He'll whisper something in your ear and you just respond clearly the opposite of what he's saying.
It'll be like something short, something like 2 seconds, and then it's a long sentence. Son of a bitch.
But yeah, man, it's like as a person who's a director and a producer and who sees stuff, you have to know their strengths and weaknesses and whatnot. Clearly, Maniac's weakness is his able to communicate. So Travis' strength and Tony's strength is their communication, so they can work with that. You have to find a way. And I work with that, and I work with that with Little J on his promo. I'm like, don't worry, stop concentrating on your call and just be yourself. Clearly, because that's what people like you. You're being yourself. When you're on your lives, they understand that. Just be yourself. Tony, I told Tony, yo, this Bray Wyatt shit is not gonna pop off. Fucking work around it. Do a couple of lines if you had to. Just be aggressive. If you're aggressive, be fucking 10 times aggressive and whatnot. Gates, I didn't really have to direct or give Gates anything because he already know what his vision was. I just had to tell him, here are 3 bullet points. If you want to add on, fine, but just keep it under 2 minutes because people's attention spans are fucking horrendous. I knew my weakness. My weakness is basically like just speak calmly, clearly, don't rush my shit, pacing, Alex Haas was a natural when he cut his fucking shit. Like, yo, I don't have to give you lines. You freestyle it here. Here's 3 fucking bullet points. Let's work behind it.
Let's do it.
Yeah, you feel me? You just have to work, because not everybody is gonna have the same. And I had to learn that the hard way in my past times with working with my friends, because majority of times we just freestyle this shit,
That was like the main factor, is the fact that you work with not the character, you work with also the person behind it.
Mm-hmm.
You try to really understand where they're trying to go, or like where we're trying to go in order for our character to make sense within the company, because it doesn't mean anything having a character that's popular in one spot, but what is he going to do the same thing he's done in every other company, that if he's so popular everybody's already seen? Like, he's got to do something different.
And I think that's the HLR community in general, is a lot of people have the same rosters, so they're built the same way as others, and I respect that in a way, because that's how they get there. That's how they get popular.
Well, I mean, they have to put out some product, and they need people to put on the product.
And that's the reason why I'm happy, in a way, that XVPW stands out from that, because clearly, even the XVPW president said it himself, is like, when you face Zero, forget about your 30-minute classics, forget about your star ratings, forget about your accolades in other promotions. Zero don't give 2 shits about that. Right? And that's clearly that's what I love about XVPW, is more like we are our own, Like, I'm pretty sure if Triple H went to ECW, people wouldn't give, or Hogan went to he's not gonna be ECW champion.
Yeah, no.
They'll care about Tommy Dreamer, Raven, and Sandman. You're like, okay, No lie, I'm not used to doing live promos. Any advice for the next live promos I'll do? You know what, Jay, bro? You're so
the same thing you did in that parking lot.
Yeah.
Do exactly that, bro. You were confident as hell. You spoke your mind. You didn't have to really, you didn't go on. You know what I mean? Which is a lot of things that a lot of people in call do often. And correct me if I'm wrong, but a lot of guys will start a promo and just drag it along way too long, so you're already kind of losing the traction.
I had to teach that
to and what you're trying to put out. Like,
I had to teach
there's
that
only
to
certain
Cam.
times where you should repeat something, and that's either it's a catchphrase or your name. Like, those are the 2 things that should really stand out in a promo, and just keep it short, sweet. Like, that's why when Max fucking stipulated the 2-minute, like, even for the application, 2 minutes. You go over 2 minutes, I don't fucking want it.
Yeah, literally. I don't want it. I literally don't. You know why though? There's a little simple formula of why, because because clearly the promos are in the shows. So if I had that triple threat, it was 2 minutes for Keon, 2 minutes for Andrew, 2 minutes for Vetty. Altogether, 2, 4, 6. That's 6 minutes before the match airs. People's attention. If Vetty went for 5 minutes, Andrew went for 5 minutes, Keon went for 5 minutes, 5, 10, 15. No. Hell no.
That show would have been on for 3 hours.
Yo, people will tune on to WWA or whatever. I'm like, bro, I can't air that. I need 2 minutes. People in WWE don't cut 2-minute fucking promos. Hell, they cut even less than that. You feel me? So and I'm preparing people for that. Like, I prepared Jay, little Jay. I'm like, yo, if it's 1 minute, make it a 1 minute banger. If it's 2 minutes, that's good. 3 minutes or more, nah, bro. This ain't an Instagram live. This ain't an Angry New Yorker live, bro. Yeah.
That little Jay promo, honestly, I know you're watching, Jay, dude. I'm so fucking happy with the way that was done, because I know you were nervous, but at the same fucking time, like, you delivered that like it came out so natural. Like it was you. Like it was fucking you, and like it was you being excited, and kind of just
He looked
getting
like
right
he
to
was
the point.
having fun. That's the best part. He
Yeah,
looked like he was
he
having
looked like
fun.
oh my god, it felt good. It felt good.
You know
to
what it
watch
felt like
that.
to me?
Like, wow.
It felt like he stole his dad's video camera and did a fucking vlog and aired it on thing. That was the feel I wanted. I told Jay, like, Jay, just have fun and just have fun with it. That's all I wanted. There's no stress because I don't want people in my promotion stress as fuck to do something like this. Just have fun with it. And man, that opening line, "Hey fuckers!" I'm like, yo, this little rascal, Dennis the Menace type shit.
Yeah.
Right? He stole his dad's video camera because his dad told him, "Hey, you're not gonna start a YouTube channel."
Yo, Jay, I swear that every time you cut a promo, you should do that. Like, have the camera in your hand, and, like, set it up in the corner, like, show the whole thing, the first person view. Set it up in the fucking corner and shit, and just like display it. Make sure you're in frame, and then cut.
Yeah.
Yo,
yes.
It's such a good fucking look. It's such a great look.
Oh, that Narf, bro. That Narf at the end. That Narf at the end.
Oh yeah,
that's
beautiful. Narf, God damn it.
The fucking Narf. That should be a fucking shirt.
That's it. It's this little fucker. Yeah. I was so happy. I was really happy with that.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, that's what I most look forward to. I like what I promote with Hive, the evolution and progression. Like, I don't mean that as like just a fucking catchphrase. I mean that in general. Like, I look at that as a principle for life: is always evolve and always progress. Always try to be better at whatever you find like a passion or a love for. Like, if you really love it, you really have a passion for it, then go all the way. Go fucking balls to the wall. Don't fucking hold back. Too many people get caught up in their egos and they lose track of what you explained before, the fun. It has to be fun. What it takes to put the shit together.
Like, I know it's a video game and all that shit, and you can say it's a video game in the end, but for me, it's like, yo, just have fun at the end. That's what it is. When I work with these guys behind the scenes, it's like they know that they mean business because they want to get it done, but at the end, it's like it's got to, we're gonna laugh at the end. That's the whole point about it. It's got to be fun, and that's why Little Jay. I told him, Little Jay, like, I don't take this very seriously. I understand because XVPW does that to you, and I told him the product itself, like, these guys work arses off. This guy, look at this fucking production. They have fucking green screen. They're working together. I'm like, yeah, but we're having fun. Like, that's the whole point about it, And to answer,
doing all that shit, getting all the green screens, putting that shit together, rehearsing it over and over again to make sure that when the camera's rolling, we got what we need to do. Like, all that's part of the fun. Like, we love the acting portion. We love the portrayal of the character. That's what makes it alive for us. Like, that's the role play.
And to answer, I guess, Jay's to answer Jay's question is, like, for doing live promos, is Jay, for you, the fact that you're comfortable doing your Instagram lives, it should be no question that you should have no problem. Just give yourself 3 fucking bullet points and learn your fucking cadence and tone. That's why I told people, like, yo, cadence is very important because it's your word pacing, and tone is basically your highs and your lows. If you want to get aggressive, make sure it starts off at the end. If you want to start off and build up, start off low, build towards the end, and always have a delivery. Delivery is what's going to send you apart of, like, I got the point across. That's it. And always keep it, for me, personally, is keep it short. In XVPW, it's 2 minutes. If you want to cut a shoot promo, make sure it fucking, like, matters, Because people's not going to care about your shoot promo if you're not really shooting. You're shooting fucking blanks right now, So
pretty much, That's exactly the mentality.
Yeah,
it's a formula. You have to. I mean, it's a wrestling formula because, again, this all comprises into what it takes to be a wrestler. Whether it's make believe or not, there's a science to it. There's a way to approach it without, convincing people that behind the scenes you're a fucking monster. Like, there has to be a way to draw that line, and a lot of people broad that line and then use it as an excuse. I see that a lot. People will use it as an excuse, and that happens a lot when words like IRL are thrown into a situation where you have to say IRL just to get a point across, then that's it. You've already brought in that line. So
Yeah.
you're not role playing anymore. Now you're
Yeah.
mentioning real life like that's relevant.
Yeah.
Like that shit that's bullshit. Like that's why I don't respect certain people in this community for that exact reason, is because they're willing to blur those lines without a care, knowing, yo, you're a grown up at the end of this fucking thing, bro. You really you're not really like that. Stop.
Because, like, example, the opening segment between me and you, we made a joke. Because in real life, quote unquote, it's like the Office segment, but we're playing at the end towards the show where we're our characters. So me breaking that fourth wall to JM, asking, "Hey, your ex-girlfriend's pregnant? How long is she?" That's me playing as Max, technically, right? Then, the whole Office segment of, like, me being you, that's technically you as Gates. So that's our in real life characters guy, but we're still playing a fucking character. That's the comedic point behind it, right? Then we shoot our promos. You're already doing your shit with James Black, communicating him. Now you're in character, Gates. You're not the real Gates in the Office segment, right? Me borrowing your knee pads and shit, because we're that's our little take on in real life shit. Like, come on. Like, I know that I do long matches, 30-minute classics with Trey Mercer, 25-minute with Alex Haas, 25 minutes with Toxic Technician. So I'm gonna make a joke about that. JMS is telling me, yo, don't go fucking over. I'm taking 200 off your pay. Come on, bro. 10 minutes? Nah. I'm gonna go 12. I'm gonna be an asshole. I'm an asshole. What the fuck? So you gotta get comfortable. So if you're comfortable doing lives and whatnot, show your fucking face. Unless you don't want to, trying to clean up or whatever. I don't give a fuck. But I got comfortable showing my fucking body with topless. I gotta be the character. I'm spraying fucking water in my head while Gates is right there. Like, what the fuck? Yeah, I'm using his fucking deodorant. Yeah, we improvised the shit out of that. That shit was fucking funny.
And that's the other thing, getting comfortable, like being comfortable with yourself, presenting yourself, dude. You think, and this is something I have to bring up just because it's often brought up as an insult, is the whole gap or my teeth or whatever.
I like it.
Like, what
it
people don't
character.
understand, I don't give a shit. Like, what people don't understand is that for 39 years, for almost 20 of those 39 years, I went on stage like this in front of hundreds and thousands of people with a microphone in my hand. This is how I presented myself. Like, I don't give a shit, because even with this, I was still able to get my message across. In fact, I think it comes across much easier because of the gap, because there's less of fucking force holding it back. It just crawls straight through. So those shits don't bother me. Like, not at all. So then this is why, I told Crash yesterday on the fucking thing, he was, did he get his teeth fixed yet? I said, don't worry, with age, man, my shit will all fall out. Which is all my shit's gonna fall out. No more gap, it's just me gums.
I'm worried about my fucking hair, to be honest. Like, this...
About what?
I'm worried about my hair. Like, oh my god. Like, if I'm gonna go bald or receding hairline... No, like, nothing yet. Knock on fucking wood. You feel me? Dude, like, this resembles X very well. That's the reason why I don't really get haircuts, because I have to play my character still in CAW. Like, that's the reason. Alright, so to be honest, guys, like, there are times where I really wish I got a fucking haircut, but this resembles me so well, is that, like, I gotta keep it. I gotta fucking keep it. That's the reason why,
That's the reason why when I do cut my hair, I update my hair. That's the only thing I update on my character.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's the only thing I'll update is the hair to keep
X
it up.
with short hair is gonna fucking surprise everybody. No, I'm not going bald. You fucking crazy, Wade.
Don't you fucking ever. Don't you ever.
Fuck that.
Oh my god.
Let's say if I really did do it, though. Let's say if I really did, I would probably make that into a segment or something. Like, remember Angry Norker was supposed to have his triple threat? Remember that shit? Like, Angry Norker pitched the triple threat, me, you, and him. Loser shaves their head, and we're so close to doing that. I'm like, now I realize that, if I was to have a match that's to go bald and shit like that, maybe I'll cut my hair. I don't know. Just for views.
And how's about this? In the winter, we'll do that, and we'll flip a coin. We'll see what's up. See if the winter time is when I shave my head.
No,
I like the cool air. I love the
like
cool air.
you like that? All right, well, you know you're booked to win that shit. I love my hair it keeps my head warm. I'm a beanie guy. I'm a
Hey,
beanie
you could
guy.
win. I don't give a fuck. I'll shave my goddamn head
Yeah.
just to be comfortable. Just make sure the match looks good.
Yeah, of course. Like I'll wear because I'm a beanie guy, so this plus the beanie, oh, it's so fucking great.
Yeah.
But oh yeah, when I lost my hair, so did my call. Oh, that's that man. That's
no.
Lewis C show, also from fucking Lit. Oh, all right. I remember C show.
Another lit guy.
Yes, Lewis C. He was from
shit.
Lit. That's actually another guy who's very comfortable with his call. He doesn't really like promos and all that. Really cool dude. But yeah, man. I feel, if you guys want to do a Q&A, it's 2:30. If you guys want to do a Q&A with Gabriel Gates, ask him any questions. I'm pretty sure this guy was uncensored, unfiltered. He'll say whatever he wants.
Yeah, I don't know what the question
So
is.
you guys have any
Really.
questions for Gabe Gates? Feel free to do it now. But before that, get your questions put in the chat, and I'll just advertise some XVPW stuff. Check out the latest show on Sunday. It's already up. I put chapters, timestamps, so if you guys won't feel like watching the full show, you want to watch little segments here and there, be sure to check that out. Best effing show, back in the indies. That's the theme for the show. It's episode 4. It's the go home show before Manhattan Massacre. What else? I had a interview with Matsuda Tanaka. Really dope stuff. Be sure to check that out. He's the owner of Relentless Pro, R Pro, on Twitch. Man, really, really great production, really great matches. Be sure to check that out. And here we go. We got a question from Warzone Wrestling. Oh no, it's not even a question from Warzone Wrestling. It's I'll switch to voice promos if Gates unblocks me. Aw, okay. Well, that's up to Gates. That's not up to me.
Nah, it shouldn't even be a fucking stipulation on my part. Just do it. Feel like it. I don't feel like doing it. Do it. If you don't feel like doing it, do the AI route. We'll just keep telling Tony to roast. I'm sure Tony enjoys it.
Here's an actual question. Do you have a retirement match planned out like Malenko and Alex does?
No, because I don't plan on retiring as long as I could create Gabriel Gates in a game. As long as there's a game where Gabriel Gates can easily be created, I will create that character and continue going. There's nothing that's gonna keep me fucking stopped. I have free time that I'm willing to spend, and instead of going out there and murdering people and being a terrible person in society, I'd rather spend it doing call because I consider it fun. I like the portrayal of being
So what happens if? So let's say what happens if 2K stops doing community creations and whatnot. What will be your go-to Gabriel Gates plan? You said unless I'm able to create Gabriel Gates, so will there be a Gabriel Gates like MMA UFC call? Shit like that.
No. It has to stay wrestling related. It has to be wrestling. So I know that the Wrestling Code and there's a couple of other projects that are still in development. So as long as people have a way for me to create my character in a wrestling game, I'm gonna be in that fucking game.
Does anyone plan to switch to Wrestling Code when it comes out? Yeah, I mean, like, this is the most crazy part about me is like I have to. Luckily, 2K19 was the shit. Luckily, they kept their servers up because the 2K20 was trash. But there was a time where I'm like, I'm gonna still keep doing XVPW unless because fun fact, I still have 2K19 just in case shit goes down and it does not go as planned. I will go back to 2K19. I still have everybody's cause. If I have to make other people's cause, okay, fuck it. If some people leave because the new game is trash, I still have probably 2K23. But if there was ever a time where I am forced to switch, like Wrestle Code, because it's probably the better call creating engine, and if it's just strictly PC, I'll probably get an Alienware laptop because I'm not gonna build a PC clearly, and I'll probably get Alienware and I'll probably switch to that. I had thought
If
about
anything, we can always talk to Sanchez, man. Now we have a tech on the team, bro.
it. Yeah,
We
we
got a
do.
tech on
We
the
do.
team.
Yeah,
Thank God.
because God, oh poor Freshie. I remember.
And soon an animator. If I fucking figure this
Yeah.
goddamn program out.
Yeah, but if I'm forced to adapt, then I'll be forced to adapt to sticking to. Maybe I'll use both engines, a 2K engine and a WrestleCode engine. You know. I got a question. Who is a dream match that you want to have that's not an XVPW?
A dream match that I want to have.
That's not an XVPW. It has to be a car.
A dream match that I want to. Well, I've been had this fucking dream before this asshole plans to retire. I still want my one-on-one with Vetty, but I want that story to be told properly.
Mm.
And it's not even like for a personal reason. It's more, I know the guy works. I know that he just, not just because, he has in-ring skill. Like the guy, he understands his character. He understands the direction of his character, and he understands how to use his character to play off anybody else. Like he's very adaptable when it comes to his character, which is what I really, really love about Vetty. And the promo that he did this on yesterday's show, like that's the perfect example. I mean, not yesterday's show, on Sunday's show.
Mm.
That was the perfect example. Was the joke with the that's not typical Vetty, but he did it for that moment because it was to mock a specific topic. Like he knows how to deliver it properly, which is what I want to branch off of. I also want to work with Dylan Mason, but he's also XVPW. But honestly, there really is nobody that I would consider on that other level. Like at least that I feel will be able to match and understand like the science going into a feud with my character, whether I'm winning or losing. Regardless of it, there has to be a chemistry and like a focus on how is this going to develop, what are we going to use on each other in order to fucking one up each other leading up to the match and shit. Like that's really what tells the fucking story. The match is a match, but what happens to build up to that match is what really tells. It makes you feel the match more. Like if you're throwing a fucking chop and you see that, you hear that chop, oh, dude, that's because he said this about that, about it. Like you kind of get the capture of like what the fuck is going on.
Yeah.
What's your cat's name? Oh, that's Navi. Navi. She's a monster.
That cat's the fucking that cat's the devil. I'm gonna tell you that right now. That cat's evil.
I mean, to go back to Warzone's question, if there was ever a retirement match, that retirement match would probably be against a very like an up and coming like big time face. Like I'd say in 2 years or 3 years, Jay. Little Jay. I'll lose to Little Jay and retire on him. Like that would be happy. I'd be happy with that retirement.
That's a good one. Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah,
Young up and
absolutely.
comer. Yeah,
That would
man.
be a great fucking.
If you guys have any more questions, feel free to ask them. I'm gonna end this at 3:00. But
yeah, dude.
yeah, Jay. He wants to. If there was ever a retirement, he'll want to wrestle you.
Yeah, if I ever had a retirement match, it'd probably be like.
Do you have a favorite moment in XVPW?
So far,
it doesn't have to be like a match or whatnot. It's a favorite moment of like filming.
Honestly, so far, my favorite moment was the surprise Christopher Daniels, because the way that was presented, where it was like out of left field, that one was a big moment because I was already in the ring, and then his face popped up on the fucking screen. It really reminded me of like old school wrestling and shit.
That's cool.
It was really cool. That was honestly one of my favorite moments. Skit wise, as of right now, the Office skit is on top of the world. I'm a huge Office mark, so yeah, it's fucking beautiful. Would XVPW do war games.
Nah.
This one more.
Nah.
War games. Damn, that would be hard to produce.
It's not even hard to produce. So fun fact about me is I'm not a big fan of gimmick matches. That's my own personal opinion. Like maybe a ladder match, but I'm a big fan of steel cage. Like as time went on, maybe when I started doing HLR matches and shit like that, I realized that I'm not a big fan of gimmicky matches. So TLCs, war game matches, I'm not a big fan of that. I guess I do like the concept of a ladder match, but not the gimmicky ladder matches. Like I like my favorite match still to this day that's gimmicky was Shawn and Razor ladder match, because it was only one fucking ladder that they used, and they had to rely on that one ladder. That's like my favorite thing is the fact that they relied on one ladder, and if that ladder fucking broke, they had to find a way to climb up to that top. Because if you looked at the very first ladder match, Shawn and Razor, they weren't getting ladders. They just had that one ladder that was over there, and they had to get it. So they weren't too flippy on the like setting up shop, all that shit. So steel cage, I like that match because it keeps the action inside. I'm not a fan of escaping the cage. I feel like that's very cowardly. So if I was to have a rule, which is going to be implemented in XVPW, if you leave the cage, you automatically lose. Hi, Meg. So you still have to win via pinfall or submission, but you're not escaping the fucking cage. If you escape the cage, you lose. You're a wuss. XVPW roster is not wusses. So yeah. Besides that, I'm not a fan of war games. It looks cool. Whoever does it, congrats. Elimination Chamber, I'm not a big fan of that. So I'm more of like pure style. I like settling the action in the ring via pinfall submission. That's my thing.
Shit. Okay, so top 5 traits that make a successful call.
I can only think of 3. I can't think of 5.
Personally, I would say charisma, consistency, overall drive. Damn. Shit. That's a good damn question. K1 hitting hard, bro. This guy should definitely be a reporter.
He won't even let the guy speak. Tell me I'm wrong. So how this is Surge Reporter. So here we are, ladies and gentlemen, behind the scenes of Xtreme Virtual Pro Wrestling. We have the Tyrant Gabriel Gates. I'm Surge. Gabe, how do you feel the match you had with Rob Van Dam? Was there a time and place where you planned this all out? The feeling of the accomplishments that you had in the match that granted you the win. When did you feel at the birth of when you came out of your mom that you feel very accomplished of achieving this set goal and match? The time when you signed with Xtreme Virtual Pro Wrestling. And the weather today is 95 with a chance of rain, ladies and gentlemen. I am Surge, the owner of K1W. You'll just keep going. You'll forget that you even had a match with Art Van Dam. That's how Surge is. But shout out.
Reminds me of an SNL skit.
But yeah, man. So Surge asked that great question. So yeah.
Yeah. I think those 3 kind of like pretty much top it off, at least for me.
I think top 5. What was it? What the fuck question was Surge asked? Damn it, Surge. Top 5 traits that make a successful call. To be honest, for me, it's the call is the call. The whatever. But the traits behind it has to be, in my eyes, has to be your confidence, able to cut a promo, and or be organic as possible. That's it. That's all. That's all this. Because anybody can create a call, but if you're gonna be in this community, shit, you have to have good confidence to be able to stand up for yourself. Because people will critique your shit, and you have to be able to have good promo and believability of the organic, the feel of the call. If Crom is able for me to, okay, I believe in Crom. He looks like a believable character. This guy has confidence throughout the ass. That's the reason why he's pushed that way, I'm guessing. And also able to speak in a way where that's very believable. All right, you got me. I'm sold. Same thing with Trey Mercer. I don't think Trey Mercer ever cut in real life promo, but the fact that he's able to speak, this guy's call is fucking believable and is organic. All right, I'm in for it. Same thing with Malenko. Malenko rarely cut in real life promos, but his call looks believable. His promo skills, people always talked about Malenko being one of the best promo guys. I heard it. All right. So it's all about those three. Because anybody can make a great call. Anybody can give them a title, right? Anybody can be booked. I run a promotion. I'm going to book my call to win. A lot of people did that shit. So, but if you're able to...
A lot of them is because they got a lot of followers and a lot of likes. Yeah. And most of the following and the follows and likes come from model pictures or shit that has nothing to do with their call in general.
Yeah.
It happens. It happens too often.
It does. If you're able to see behind the bullshit, all right. I'm able to see behind the bullshit.
And therein lies the problem with a lot of people I guess like me that fucking get a lot of heat is that at my age, bro, I see through bullshit way too fast. I just have the confidence to call it out when I see it. People just don't like to hear it, which, hey, that's not my prerogative anymore. No. Look, I raised my daughter with a fucking spine. I could trust my 17-year-old daughter to walk out there freely, and I don't have to worry because I know if shit comes to worse, she knows how to handle a situation, or she calls me and I handle it for her. But that's the same way I am all around. Like, that's the one aesthetic that I don't only push in my call. It's a personal thing with me. I have a fucking spine, and I speak my mind. I speak my mind, and nothing's going to stop me from fucking speaking my mind.
That's the reason why you're in XVPW. That's the same. Yeah. I want that same. And a lot of people, mentality in XVPW has that mentality. Steve will call it how it is. Monoxide, he will call it how it is. That shit's trash, blah, blah, blah. But here's why, all that stuff. Same with Surge, but we'll get a full, entire Snyder cut of why, and I respect that. Tony.
More important, skin or respect. Skin. I could give two fucks who respects me and who doesn't. But that doesn't mean shit. This is why when people are boasting about gaining respect in call, it's respect for what? You're not doing something a service for the community. You're not doing a service for anybody else. You're just feeding your own ego. So respect for what? For the work you did, you chose to do that. So nobody owes you anything. And that's where a lot of people get misconstrued. Is nobody in this fucking community owes anybody anything. Same way I don't owe anybody an explanation as to why my character's portrayed the way it is, and it's done right.
And that's the reason why a lot. I'm the type of person who if I need to explain something to you, it gotta mean something. But I will never explain why, how, or whatnot in XVPW at all. Not unless it's the behind the scenes with Gates or with the people in my roster. I'll explain why to my roster. But I have to explain a booking, and you're never gonna get that from me. You're never gonna see me say, "Oh, that's the only reason why he's booking Gates because that's his boy." No, that's not reason why, guys. Or the reason why he's treating special people and whatnot is because Hive. I'm like, well, to be honest, all right, Hive because one, they're booked, and two is because they're the only faction that's probably really successful in XVPW. And I want a faction in XVPW. There you go. I'm not going to say how, why, when did it start? No. Nobody's... Vince McMahon is not going to explain. Yeah.
And let me put this out there. We're not telling you how to push our fucking faction
No,
at all.
no, exactly
Oh, my
not.
camera went out. Oh.
Oh, that's cute. Look at that. That's great.
I'm a hole in the wall. I'm behind that hole right there. You see that hole?
Gates pulled the Nightcrawler.
I am.
Gates pulled the Nightcrawler.
No,
I love it. I love it. It's great. But yeah, we're 10 minutes away anyway. But yeah, man, like I don't like explain. Like I will never explain my booking, how I do things, and shit like that, not unless it's gonna really mean something. Like that's the gist of it all, especially in wrestling in general. When you know what's funny, I felt bad for Seraph because people are like bargaining him. He did a live, and he had to explain why Vetty was not booked and all this shit and all that. And that guy legit had no defense whatsoever because it was very sad and true in a way because they called him out on his bullshit. And that's the reason why you will never catch me doing anything like that in a live and have to explain myself to people. I hate that. That's a big pet peeve of mine. Me explaining myself to a person, like, no, you're not gonna get that from me at all. Not unless it's yeah.
Like I've had some people like Little J will come into my DMs after I post something or anything, and I would explain it to him. I'd be like, look, this is like what this is what this account is. Like, if you want to follow like the real me and not have to deal with me being an asshole, I have a personal account for that. Like, you can get to know. But this isn't an account for me to fucking make friends. Like, that's not. This was literally created simply as if a wrestler were to have his own fucking account. I'm a 30, and my wrestler's 39. Let's not make that misconstrue that. I don't fucking falsify the age of my wrestler because what I portray on a camera isn't a 20-something-year-old man. No, this is me. So this is what part of what my character is, which is why I display it and promote it as it is.
Can a promotion survive in a house talent alone, or is it important to have known people from their community? As a person who started Xtreme Virtual Pro Wrestling with a bunch of people who did not know who these guys were and able to survive with 1,000+ subs, yeah, it's legit about the promoter itself. Like, legit how the person creates his promotion and advertises it. Like, you gotta promote to be a fucking promotion. And I promoted the hell out of XVPW and produced it the way it is with a bunch of guys who are friends with, and the community out of nowhere. Who the hell are these guys? Who's this promotion? Sub. And yeah.
Yeah, it built traction. It built a lot of traction.
People who did not know who Cody Omega was. And next thing you know, here he is in the IG scene, causing a lot of ruckus, being the MJF that he's supposed to be, to get the heat that he is. And whatever he says.
And that's the best part. That's the best part. And what did I tell you when you announced that he was coming to IG? I celebrated the shit out of it.
Yeah, man.
Celebrated the shit out of it because I knew exactly what the response was going to be to his character. And on top of that, I knew why he does what he does. He is mocking.
Yes.
He does that exactly for the response that he's getting. People to call him a rip-off MJF. Duh! He has the identical fucking scarf. Like, it's part of his persona.
And I bet you, if I told him, because I interviewed him, I'm like, what's with the scarf? I like MJF. All right. But I told him one side up. I bet you if he took off that scarf and wears whatever gear he wants, does the same exact cadence of promo style and whatnot, he will still be over. He's over now because a lot of people are hating on him for the fact he's MJF. But I bet you if he took off the scarf, wear whatever gear possible, nobody cannot fuck with him on the mic. Because it's the same exact... No, nobody.
Absolutely
I
not.
tried.
And the main reason a character like that or a person like that is able to fucking do it and fuck somebody up on a mic is for the same reason I approach a lot of things, is because I don't care about the backlash.
No.
Like, You could go at my fucking dead ancestors, and I'll still look at you and be like, okay.
And the best part about it is that he's in fucking character when that shit goes on. He's in character. Because I know the guy personally, and that guy is a softie like you are. Nice as fuck, humble, everything, the whole nine.
Oh, you called me soft.
Yeah, you're a fucking marshmallow, bro. I don't give a fuck what nobody says. Jay can call you whatever, Angry can call you whatever, CZB can call you. You are a fucking marshmallow, and I love that about you. You are the fucking Pillsbury Doughboy of it all, and I respect you.
Let's not get it twisted. I'm the Pillsbury Doughboy that again will stand at the front lines to defend XVPW. Yes. I will not stand behind. The first one to get my fucking hands dirty. Do not get that twisted.
Yeah, you are right. Yes, that's very true. Fucking
absolutely not.
You know what, Jay? It was funny. NWF is here. I told him about Cody Omega, and he told me that he was closing his signings. And a week later, he signed Cody Omega. I want to know, why did you sign? I know. This is the Gabe Gates fucking episode, but NWF signed Cody Omega. I want to know why. You're here. I'm pretty sure you're still watching. But yeah, that guy fucking won a championship at social media wrestling.
Here's actually something I wanted to bring up since we got about 4 minutes left.
Yeah.
I noticed in a lot of previous interviews, my name was coming up often.
Ah, okay.
All right. And I realized that. So I just wanted to address one thing in regards to everything that was said about me. In all those lives, because I paid very close attention to every time I was mentioned. And not only was I amused, listen, thank you. Thank you, because of that response alone, I know that I am literally doing exactly what I entailed to do, whether it be a douchebag to you guys, an asshole, whatever the case may be. I was able to do what I needed to do. And that profile is now suitable. And that just gives it more viability. So thank you again, because it just helps me. It helps my character. It helps me develop. And again, if you want to know who I am outside of call, it's easy. NJ Goblin on IG. Give me a fuck. I just recently made my profile public. Okay? It's public. My personal profile is public because why the fuck not? So if you want to follow me, NJ Goblin is my personal profile. You'll only see funny shit there and artwork and shit like that. That's pretty much it.
Personally, I wasn't going to sign him at all, but after the work he showed me from XVPW and promo work, it got me interested because it reminded me like how Marty was a year ago when I saw his work. I respect that. You look back at his thing, so since I signed him, I'm going to have a heavy plans for him. You better treat him well. Yeah.
Yeah, not like you treated me, okay?
That guy, bro. That guy. Yeah. But yeah, I know Lido.
Being a ripoff would have gotten me over. I would have done that earlier.
If you really want good promo guys, like in real life promo, like me, Gates, we do like in real life shit. Yo, that Facebook community has a bunch of them.
Littered.
Bunch.
And that's where that's like I told you, I got my start there because of that comfortability. Like I got on IG, I was doing live shit, but I wasn't really getting traction because people were taking it as me attacking the world. And it's like, all right, these people don't understand my character, so I'm gonna go to Facebook. Yeah. And Facebook was the community that understood what the fuck I was doing because they were doing the same.
Yeah. Like, so in IG, there's eFed, right? And the HLR. Facebook has its own community where it's just strictly promos. Like, there's no 2K involved. These guys are legit battling promos.
Yeah, it's just promos.
It's just promo guys and whatnot. Yeah, and that's where I discovered Dylan Mason, Cody Omega, Corey Heck, Jay Fatal, Hollywood Watkins, all these guys, you know, and they're fucking talented because they're already comfortable on camera.
Exactly.
So if you look at Cody Omega and all this shit, like, oh man, wait till you see fucking if Dylan Mason made his own fucking account, bro, I'm gonna tell you right now, You love
Dude,
dark.
he needs to, man. He really fucking needs to.
Yeah. Iron Bison,
Makes
another
me-
great fucking promo guy. We call him in Facebook. We call him promo heads. You know, but then they felt kind of insulted. Like, we're just promo heads. Like, no, you don't wrestle, bro. Like, and then they discovered XVPW. Like, oh, okay, yeah, we get it now. Like, okay, yeah. But it's 3:00. I always stand by my times. You have any shout outs you want to give, bro? Any plugins you want to give?
I mean, Lost in the Fuck, LITF crew, where that consists of pretty much the ones you consider our circle, Hive, and then others. There's JM's involved, other people involved as well. Clean Sanchez Media, definitely go check them out as well. We're under that banner. Great production, great stuff coming out of that fucking channel and that entire fucking media. Again, if you want to follow me personally, you could rap with me. We could talk shit, need advice, whatever the case may be.
He's always down to give it too. Like, that's the puff.
Yeah, the Tyrant account ain't the way to go. If you want to hit me on a personal level, go to NJ Goblin on IG. NJ Goblin. That's
this
me.
Guy will tell it how it is. This guy will say your work is shit, but he'll tell you why, and he does that with me all the time.
All the time.
He will correct me. You love XVPW. You love the way it looks. Yo, I aim for perfection, and I'll show it to him. And if he doesn't say nothing, that's good. If he says something, yo, I'm gonna fix that, or that's not good. That's not good, and he'll tell me. And that's the type of people you need in your fucking circle, and that's the reason why y'all are in XVPW. So, respect. I give the same mentality as I give everybody else. There's no favoritism in XVPW. I favor everybody. Y'all have something to contribute. Gates contributes a lot in XVPW. So
I try to. I really, really do.
Yeah, this guy's a busy fucking man.
And it's not just with XVPW. As a reminder, this is with any company that is willing to give me the opportunity.
Yeah.
That you get 150% out of me. I don't half-ass my shit. Like, when you don't give me the opportunity to shine, I don't have the opportunity to show you my work. So what do you expect me to do? I'm not going to stick around. I'll go and work where my work is needed and where it could benefit. And XVPW now is home. That is it.
I'm coming home. All right, guys.
With nobody else.
Well, nice chatting with you. We started at fucking 12. We ended at fucking 3. Look, you got like a fucking 2, 1, 1 to 2.
Hard fucking 4.
Yeah, man. All right, man. Later. Peace.
Let's do it. XVPW next show. Be sure to tune in, motherfuckers.
Manhattan Massacre. That's right.
To get extreme.
Did the tee-hee-hee? That's the tee-hee-hee? All right. That was great.